More buttons. 2, 3. I really need to hotkey that shit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Bro, you just gotta be like me and have 3 stream decks.
Dude, I want a stream deck so fucking bad, but it's like I can't justify it until I start making a little bit more money.
I don't blame you.
I want one though. Instead of pressing like I got this shorty keyboard, like I have the same keyboard you have, and I just got it like 2 days ago. The FN and using I'm lost.
Dude,
with it.
Do you know about Touch Portal?
What is it?
Touch Portal?
No.
It's a stream deck, but it's your phone. It's so sick, dude. I use it for like a few different things.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you have to send me a link on that one.
I will happily. It's like $10. It's so sick.
Hell yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to Storm Chats episode 4, I think. It's supposed to be 5,
yeah.
but we were bums last week and we slept in because I work at a bar till 2 a.m. before these.
I had a whole story made for that. Like Storm got arrested for public indecency while at work, and I had to bail him out, and then they caught me on some charges, so we had to spend the weekend in jail.
Caught you on the charges of being. Never mind. Yeah, you were gonna say it. Anyways, this is Austin O'Brien, AQA, not the QA. As we were talking about before. AQA.
There is a distinct difference for sure.
I was like, man, that's a lot of work for one fucking guy. Yeah.
No, there's a whole team of wonderful people.
So this fellow right here works for the Raven Softwares, which they have worked on a lot of Call of Duties, actually. You guys worked all the way. The company itself worked all the way back in Modern Warfare 2, right?
Dude, Raven has worked on like everything. I don't know exactly what we've worked on and like what we've done for Call of Duty, but I know we've been involved with the franchise. Yeah, I mean for a really long time, like at least Modern Warfare 2. We've also done like, in my opinion, so like. This is not to shit on Call of Duty, by the way, because I spend probably at least a solid 30, 40 hours of my week playing it in my free time. So
yeah.
I'm not shitting on Call of Duty. But for me, Raven was Star Wars Jedi Knight and Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast and Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Wolverine Origins, yeah, they back before they started working on COD, they did like their own stuff with Activision.
None of that I could not find any of that when I was on the Wikipedia. Yeah. Like, what did the fuck?
I mean, dude, that's like 20 plus years ago. So
yeah,
I mean some of it is like Jedi Knight
staples. Yeah, Jedi Knight's like a staple of video game in my mind. Dude. It's like when I think original Xbox, I think Jedi Knight for sure.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I like play everything. We can cuss, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. I was gonna say like I fuck with everything Star Wars, but yeah, I mean like Jedi Knight and Jedi Knight 2 are like probably some of my favorite Star Wars games. Recently re-released on the Nintendo Switch, by the way.
Oh, wow, they got
that was weird. Firing that up and then just like seeing the Raven logo pop up, and I was like, oh, whoa, holy crap! Like so weird.
It's all coming full circle.
They've done like hella good games. Some of the guys that worked on like Jedi Knight and Jedi Knight 2 still work at the studio, and I haven't been there because I started in March or I think March, something like that. But when I get back, they don't know it yet, but they're about to get punished about those games because I'm about to just ask every question. I'm like a huge fan. So yeah, we've done a ton of shit. Soldier of Fortune, that's another one. Kind of an underrated game, but was kind of like controversial when it came out because it was like mad gory. It was a first-person shooter. Like you were a soldier of fortune. You were like basically a mercenary, and when did that game come out? Like 25 years ago. You could gib, which I don't know if you're familiar with like video game terminology. Gibbing is when like limbs can be removed, and yeah, you could just like pop shots off and somebody's leg would go flying off, and I found that for $5.
They would hate to see like zombies now if that was what they were worried
about. Oh yeah, I mean, dude, yeah. At the time, it was controversial. Now it's just like, have you seen Mortal Kombat fatalities?
Yeah,
like
that and fucking like Assassin's Creed's like their new game, the chop people's heads off and shit.
Oh really? I haven't played Valhalla yet. I really want to though.
playable else unless you're fucking so many bugs in that game. That's the one problem, man.
I mean, dude, huge open world game.
Yeah.
Like
it's gonna happen. And I stopped playing it because I was like, I'm just gonna wait for this all to get fixed and come back and do it again because it's so fucking
That sounds
beautiful.
like Cyberpunk for me.
I still both of those.
I feel bad.
I started playing like when they first came out, and I was like, because I'm on PC, and you're still.
I'm on the dinosaur of the original Xbox One, 500 gigabyte.
He's still fucking.
I got one of those down there. Ain't no shame, baby.
Mine's hanging on the wall right there as a trophy. It's like a head.
Dude, I always say wherever you can play games is the best place to play games. Like whatever you have is like the best thing to play on.
There you go. Words of encouragement.
Google Stadia.
No, bull your.
Except that.
It's time to build that PC though. So how exactly or what exactly does a QA do? What is your job description exactly?
So we aren't the guy from Grandma's Boy, for one. That's like the joke everyone loves to make. So I'm just gonna get it out of the way now. I fucking hate that joke. Nobody in QA thinks it's funny, except that movie is really good, and I get it. Like I get
totally
the attachment to it.
He was a QA in that movie.
Yeah, dude. Well, he's like, yeah, he's like QA, but he's also like other things. I don't know. They did like honestly, it's like semi-accurate, except for like his weird boss and shit. But I mean, like at its core, like QA is bug testing. That's like what most people kind of know it as. There is a lot more that goes into it. People, I think, don't really understand that, which is, I mean, it's understandable as a whole. I think the video games industry is kind of a mystery to people who either don't know about it or don't care. You know, some people just buy games and they want to play the games and they don't want to know anything about the industry, which is fine. But
those are the casuals. So,
yeah, sure. I mean, like,
terms.
We're fucking dweebs out here.
The casuals. I mean, dude, gaming is like literally the biggest. It's the biggest entertainment or form of entertainment in the world. It's bigger than music and movies. So, well, that's
to porn.
OnlyFans.com/AOB.
I mean,
no, I'm just kidding. I don't have
Cyberpunk basically combines those two. So I mean, we've done it.
Oh yeah, brain dances.
Dude, that game is the most pornographic game I've ever seen in my life.
Really? I'm not far enough to know that.
So, like, literally, I was designing my character, and I'm like talking on stream. I'm just like, da 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 da.
Oh, I mean,
because
like
button, and it was
stuff,
like tits, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, we had a running joke on my stream for a while about I don't know if you ever played Outlast.
Yeah, I love the fucking twins in the first one.
Yeah, the twins. We always called them like the was like Mandong twins or something like that. I don't know. Wieners are funny, but yeah, QA. We at the core, we just like we test bugs. We find bugs. We write tickets and send them off to. You'll hear me use the term like developers a lot, like separating us from them. But I like to kind of make it a point to tell people that like, if you work on games and you're part of the reason the game shipped, then you're a developer. That term is not exclusive to people who write code or make art. You know, it's like everybody that makes a game is a developer. Yeah. But you'll hear me use that term pretty frequently. I am usually referring to sending it up the chain to other devs.
The people who can fix what is broken.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because prior to some people's perception of my job, I don't fix things. I don't know how to fix things. I don't code. I don't want to know how to code. I tried to learn and I hate it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's a fucking intensive. I think Thomas, one of the buddies we play with, is learning how to code, and I'm like, I don't want to be involved in any part of this. I'm all right.
Yeah, dude, it's gnarly. I mean, like, I can do it if it's one of those things where if I need to, like, I can brute force my way into basically just like beating my own ass and forcing myself to sit down and write. But I don't enjoy it. It's not something that I will ever be my career. I have no interest in coding. So
yeah, absolutely.
Please don't think that I ever want to do that. Don't talk to me about coding. Don't ask me questions.
Literally, your job is it's kind of a dream job in a way. You get to play the game and say, hey, this is fucked up, fix it.
Kind of. It's some people's dream job for sure. I have friends that love it. And that's like, I'm not like shitting on it. It's for some people. It's just like most jobs, right? Like it's for some people and it's not for others. Some people get into it thinking, I just get to play the game all day. I'm just going to drop in to Verdansk for 8 hours a day and I'm just going to get to play. And it's like, nope, that is absolutely not what you will do. You will sometimes, but that is not what you will do majority of the time for any job.
Is there a lot like paperwork involved? Well, I guess like
no,
like
it's
filing and
QA is very like formulaic. There are times where you're kind of just like let loose to search for anything and everything, because this is what happens when a game gets released. People do things you don't expect them to. Mm-hmm. And, especially when you release a game that millions of people are going to play, there's just a lot of brains on it. Way more brains than will ever be on any game for any QA team ever. Like the biggest companies in the world cannot account for what millions of people are going to do when they play their game. But so like most of the time what we do is very like formulaic. We test like core functionality. We make sure things are, can I jump? Can I walk? Can I do that? It's like you basically run down a checklist and then you move on. We usually refer to things as like tasks. Then you move on to your next task. Okay, well now we're going to do this thing. Then we're going to do this thing. And like, it's very scheduled because if it's not, it's very easy to go down a rabbit hole chasing things that you either just can't figure out or chasing a ghost. There is a lot of times where you end up chasing shit where like you thought you saw a thing happen and you spent 2 hours looking for it. Now you can't find it. You just wasted 2 hours. So we try to like calculate everything that we do as much as possible.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a dream job for somebody. Some people like breaking games. I have a friend that literally breaks games for fun. Like he likes looking for bugs in his free time. And I think he's weird.
Yeah,
but
that's weird.
He's like, dude, anytime I play any game, he's like, I'm looking for bugs. I'm like, do you pay attention to like what's happening? And he's like, yeah, but more importantly, it's super cool when the game breaks and I find out about it. And I'm just like, so you don't. I'm confused. Do you not like enjoy the like gameplay, or he's just like, no, it's all good. I just like when it breaks. I'm like,
he's having a blast with Cyberpunk.
Not once have
I
ever
for real, dude.
I'm like, let me stock this shelf because I miss doing it. Or I just
that's exactly. Like, I mean, I like my job a lot, but yeah, I don't like get off the clock and I'm like, all right, here we go. Like I'm not doing my job off the clock.
He's like, I'm gonna take some work home, guys. He just loads up Warzone. Looks for
I mean, like I play Warzone in my free time, but my ass is not looking for bugs. Like I'm trying to win.
You're trying to avoid those motherfuckers. You're like, I don't have to report.
I'm trying to
win.
Squad
ever like, hey Austin, this just broke. Can you go ahead and document?
Oh, dude, my friends like love to do that, which is like, it's like fine, whatever. Like I get it, but also sometimes I'm like, hey man, I don't make jokes about you welding all day. It's not as funny as you think it is. I'm just saying.
My car broke.
Yeah, hey bro, my car broke. You want to fix it? They'd be like, no, and I'd be like, I know, exactly.
So is this the first company you've ever worked for, is Raven, or did you work for any other sort of developers before?
No, I worked. So this year has been crazy for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like some people way more than others, obviously. For me, it was a little wild because I used to tour in a band like full time for 7 years ish. We'll be a band for 10 years next year. So like about 6 or 7 of those we toured like semi full time ish, at least 4, 5, 6 months out of the year. I guess it depends on what your definition of full time is. To me, that's
full time fucking.
That's full time.
Yeah, half a year spent on the roads, full time touring.
Long enough that I couldn't have a like quote unquote real job. Yeah. And I did that for a really long time. A lot of circumstances, there isn't just one, kind of came to a head, and we decided that we just weren't going to do that anymore. And I had a conversation with a friend a few years ago about wanting to get into video games and like kind of always wanted to do that. And so I took the leap. Would have been, I think, November of last year. I applied for a job that my friend had told me about. So I knew a guy who plays in my friend's band, and I only knew him through my friend. My friend said that there might be a position opening up at his work, at that guy's work. And that guy reached out to me. His name is Chris. And he was just like, hey, no guarantees, but I work at like a really small studio here in I used to live in Chicago.
Yeah.
If you want to apply, I can't guarantee I'm going to get you a job or anything, but like, do your thing. And I applied a couple other places too. I actually ended up applying at his job with the wrong resume. So that was fucking embarrassing.
Oof.
Yeah, huge oof. I got a call from the studio manager and he was just like, so this resume. And I was like, yeah, what's up? He goes, well, there's the wrong studio name on it. And I was just like, what's up? And he was just like, yeah, it says Iron Galaxy, which is another studio in Chicago. And I was like, oh, fuck. I have made a mistake. He goes, yeah, you really shouldn't do that when you're applying to a job, especially one where you're like, looking for issues. And I was like, yeah. He goes, so do you want to come in for an interview? And I was like, what's up? Wait, what?
That's a good
And so I went in for an interview, or actually I interviewed over the phone, which it wasn't even COVID season yet. It was the first time I'd ever had an interview over the phone. And he would just told me to come in on this day. He was like, all right, cool. You start this day. Like at the end of the interview. Again, I've never gotten a job at the end of an interview. I don't know if that's normal. I haven't had that many jobs. Like I've always just like,
yeah,
the places I've worked,
definitely.
Yeah, well, in the places I've worked, I've just been there forever. So like,
Yeah.
I don't, I've just never really like job hopped. I was a bike messenger for 6.5 years. Before that, I worked at like Subway. And
that was my first job with Subway.
Yeah. Oh
It's
God.
not
So you
fucking
fucking know
fresh.
how that goes.
It's not fucking fresh. Let me
Dude, I
tell you.
hated that job.
I'll expose those motherfuckers all day long.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. So yeah, like I haven't had that many jobs, but I don't think I've ever gotten one at the end of an interview. And he was just like, cool, yeah, just come in on this day. And I was like, all right. So I worked there for 3 months. Would have been like end of December until mid-March. So okay, and then sorry, like I said, this year's been crazy. My timeline was off. So I worked there until the end of mid-March, and then I got laid off for 2 months, and then I got my job at Raven.
Okay.
That studio was called Phosphor. They're a really small studio. There was 25, 30 people that worked there.
Wow.
I got laid off with 5 other. I was a contractor at that studio. I was supposed to be there until July, so my contract was for like 6-ish months. I got laid off 3 months into it, and it wasn't my fault. But 5 of us got laid off, and then shortly after, like a bunch more people got laid off. Indie development is really hard.
Yeah.
If people don't know, it is extremely volatile, and it will fall apart at any moment. And
it's almost
it sucks.
Like a band in a way.
Dude, yes. I have made that comparison a lot. Playing in a band, like a small band, is a lot like being an indie studio in the games industry. It is very messy. Sometimes shit works out and sometimes it does not. Even you could make the best game in the world and it just doesn't hit the right market or hit the right people, and your studio falls apart. It's the same as being in a band. Coolest record in the world doesn't mean that anybody's going to care.
Not without the right promotion and right
placement. It's tough, man. And I made a lot of friends that worked there, and a lot of them went on to like way cooler, way bigger jobs, like doing bigger projects and stuff. So that's cool. So yeah, but that was my first games job, and I thought I was fucked. I like got laid off, and I was just like, okay, well that was short lived. Yeah, like I was in and out in the matter of 3 months. Like I guess that's it, and I didn't really know what to do, so I just like started looking around online. Talked to my fiance and was just like, can we move if, because we both wanted to leave Chicago. We were just like over it. And I was like, can we move if I find something? And she was like, yeah. And so I started applying literally everywhere. California, Boston, New York. And it just happened to be that Raven was only 3 hours away from Chicago, or not even that. It's like an hour and a half. And I just like applied there, and I got the interview. I mean, it's so crazy because like working at Phosphor got me the job at Raven, and working at Phosphor was just like a fluke. Like literally, it was just because I knew, I had a friend of a friend, and now I work on Call of Duty. So it's just I just tripped over so many like I feel like I just kind of stumbled into it, and I'm like, oh shit, how did I get here?
Took a big hurdle, and we're like, and the universe was like, we'll place you here. I mean, which is a fucking rad position to be in. This is Call of Duty's been a AAA title for our childhood basically.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I grew up playing Call of Duty with my dad.
Exactly. I think the first time I played it was like on PS2 in like Denver. We were like at a friend's house, and they were like, yeah, we have this game, and I was like, let me go. And I just played it, and then when I got home, I would go to Family Video and rent all the new games every time.
Dude, shout out to Family Video.
Family Video.
That's like so Midwest.
Dude,
by the way,
is it?
It's so Midwest. I anytime I've ever been to a coast, I'd be like talking. I don't know why Family Video would come up, but I'd be like, "Yo, Family Video." People would be like,
"What the fuck is that?"
What? And I'd be like, yeah, "It's like a video store." They'd be like, "You still have video stores?" I'd be like, there's a Family Video like 10 minutes from me.
Behind.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah,
like the only one left.
Hollywood Video. There was Hollywood Video.
That was a thing. Yeah,
they disappeared like before Blockbuster.
They were cheaper though. That was the thing. That's why they disappeared. But they were lit. I loved Hollywood Video.
Yeah, there was in Peoria where I'm from. I'm from Peoria, Illinois, just like Central Illinois. We had everything. Dude, we had Family Video. We had Blockbuster. We had Hollywood Video.
That's how it is here.
And then they all disappeared. Like a Family Video down the street from my dad's house just closed. That Family Video has been there since I was probably 6 or 7 years old. It was so weird. We drove by it, and it's like all empty.
We have one left.
Is ours alive still?
Yeah, no, we have one over by Sherwood.
No, that's closed. They just closed it. It's gone.
Closed. That was the last one.
Closed Marco.
Dude,
Marco's
it's a
Pizza
shame.
that partnered with it. All that jazz.
Dude, Marco's Pizza's so good.
Yeah. Marco's was lit. Like it was expensive though, like $17 for a pie and some jalapeno bread for like 10 more. I was like, God damn. But it's
there used to be a Family Video like in every neighborhood in Peoria and like the surrounding towns. There's maybe 2 left now. Yeah. When I was a kid, I swear, dude, you could drive any direction, drive for 5 minutes, and you could find a Family Video. And now there's like 2 left.
Yeah, here, I'm gonna get her.
So while Storm is dealing with his offspring, we'll look at his notes here, see if he has any questions.
Dude, shout out to the offspring.
The offspring. I'm gonna let Storm read his questions. I don't really have any questions at the moment. I'm sure they'll come up in conversation, but
yeah, for sure.
Back to the Family Video though.
Dude, Family Video is literally so fire. It sucks that like, and I mean like I'm kind of part of the problem, but like they don't need to exist. But like there's a part of me like nostalgic. There's a nostalgic part of me that wants them to stick around, despite the fact that they're not profitable at all. It's just like, please don't go anywhere. Like you're such like an important part of my childhood. Like don't leave me.
Yo, I bet if a Blockbuster opened up in like 10 years, it would boom for like a solid year.
I promise you, in like 10 years, it'll be like cool to be a video store.
Dad, bust out the DVD player. What?
Dude, it's already a thing with VHS tapes. Yeah, there are small pop-up rental stores all over that are, it's like becoming a trend where they will do VHS tapes for rent. And it like pops off, dude.
I still have all the Disney ones, but Disney Plus exists. So
yeah, but it's the VHS. That's the part that matters.
Is that the
dude? Yeah, it has nothing to do with the movie. I mean, like I'm like a weird. Obviously I like horror movies. If you couldn't tell, I think there are some movies that they benefit from like the kind of shitty look of VHS.
Absolutely.
There are some movies that I've like watched on VHS, like even semi recently, and been like, "Damn, this movie fucking rules." And then I'll see it in Blu-ray in like HD, and I'm like, this is not that good in Blu-ray.
Yeah,
like it just doesn't have the same effect.
It like exposes itself. That it's
exactly. It's just
on shit. It needs to be played on shit to be that.
Yes,
to be,
Evil
good.
Dead. I think the first Evil Dead movie is a prime example of that. It's very low budget, very low budget, and when you watch it in Blu-ray, you're just like, this looks like a film that kids made. And it is. I mean, they were like 20 years old, but when you watch it on a VHS, it like the ugliness of it just kind of like adds to the effect.
Its teeth a little bit more for sure.
So, I don't know if that'll be the same with like if video stores will be able to capitalize on that, but I say give it 10 years and it'll be cool.
For sure. I mean, you have bands already, they're releasing a lot of their stuff on like cassette tapes now, just for the fucking who is the one Polaris, I think I saw recently was another one that was doing it. I mean, everybody. It's kind of crazy.
I always say if skateboarding does something like trend wise, or if punk rock and hardcore does something, give it like 5 years and it'll be cool everywhere else.
Yeah.
Because cassettes and vinyl, punk rock and hardcore have been doing that pretty much since their inception, but like it's been big in punk and hardcore since like 2005.
Yeah.
And then everyone else started to catch on later. And that's not like to, like toot the horn of like a subculture or anything, but like it is true. I mean, trends start with subcultures and then they kind of like explode out into the mainstream.
Absolutely. So was it your idea to put Leatherface in the game, or was that just a nice coincidence?
No, but dude, when I found out, I lost my fucking mind.
Dude, when I saw that trailer for the Halloween, I was like, holy shit, this is lit.
Dude, that's my favorite trailer that we've ever released. I love that trailer so much.
It's
sick. So like the way that it works is like we like test builds. So like, here's a bunch of new stuff we added in. We need you guys to like go over that. And we don't like get notes of the stuff that's going in all the time, because sometimes there's just a bunch of stuff. And I just like open it, like, okay, we're working on the Halloween event today. And I open the game and I had no idea what we were doing for the Halloween event other than it would be themed. And I opened the game and Leatherface is in it. And I was like, yo, are you fucking kidding me? And they were like, oh, you didn't know? And I'm just like, I was apparently not in this meeting that's because everyone else knew. And I was just like, I don't know where I was, but I was not told. And they're like, Jigsaw's in there too. And I'm like, yeah. Leatherface, like so sick. And I'm like geeking because like most of my coworkers are not horror fans. Like there are a few, but
yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, his blueprint weapon's yellow like his fucking chainsaw in the movie. And like, and they were just like, that's important. And I was just like, yes, that is very important.
Shut the fuck up. Duh.
His chainsaw is always yellow. It has to be.
It was so sick. I was very happy with how it was released, how accurate it was. I was happy with the Halloween. Okay, I was happy with the Halloween event for the first week until it kept fucking going, and I was like, all right, I'm done with getting fucking jumped.
That was the worst.
It was getting so fucking
It's
bad.
Thanksgiving. Why are you still jumping at me?
Did you see the meme that we posted on Twitter? It like it blew up like a little bit. There was like at some point somebody wrote a bug for how loud the jump scare was, because it's a jump scare. It's supposed to be loud.
Fucking aggressive.
And the ticket got returned to the person that wrote it, and the dev said, sorry, you cannot turn off being scared. And I was like, oh my God, you got fucking roasted.
Yikes.
Savage.
So funny, dude.
It would always catch me in the worst times. Like I'm in the fucking 3v1 battle right now. I need a weapon. I'm out of ammo. I hit that button. I'm like, you got it. I'm done. I'm so mad.
It was so good though. Like that shit cracked me up, because that's how it would be for me. Is like I would have my guard up the whole game, and I'd get like one or two, and I'd be like, whatever. It's like I'm like used to it at that point. But then you'd get in that firefight where are not paying attention to anything but the firefight, and you like go to open a crate real quick and it gets you, and I'll be like, motherfucker.
It was and on PC, I noticed on PC the response time for it is like super quick, because obviously like it's running a little faster. You guys had a little bit of a delay on a lot of them, I heard. Like,
Oh,
when you had to
really?
open 'em on console, yeah. So on console, like
Oh
they'd be like, "Oh, you're
no.
just being a bitch," and I'm like, "Dude, this is like insta fucking taneous. When I press the
Yeah.
button to open that crate, this bitch just tries to eat my fucking ass, bro." Like,
I'd say I only experienced like 10 total.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
the spawn rate for them was not super high
then
because I mean,
apparently
you
I
want
was
it to be scary.
Yeah. Apparently, I was just unfortunate then because there was like
Or
there's
you
that
play the
clip
game
of
too much.
yeah, that too. Oh, trust me, I play the game too much. You're talking to I am the one in the friend group that is I'm on it every fucking I'm level like 300 right now, I think, or some shit. Like
Cool.
I play too many games to put that much time into it.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I used to, but I just man, like as I said, like everything that releases anymore, it seems like is super fucking buggy. And like I want to enjoy those games in a beautiful way. Like I want to enjoy Cyberpunk in a beautiful way. I want to enjoy Assassin's Creed in a beautiful way because that's usually what I'm playing outside of like FPS games is like those big open RPGs.
Yeah.
But and I used to play a lot of Siege, but I really do feel like they've just I played it a little bit recently, had an all right time, but I used to be like competitive into that. I logged like 1,000 hours very, very quickly in that game on Xbox and on PC. And I was
I've
sweaty
literally
as fuck.
never logged 1,000 hours in any game. The most I've ever logged is 500 in Skyrim, and I think I have like 400 in Skater XL. But I just play too many games. I can't get that.
Well,
I
and
have
that
like
makes
friends who
sense.
like use that as bragging rights. They're like, I've got 3 games. I have 1,000 hours in. I'm like, I have like 40 games that I have like 30 to 50 hours a piece,
Yeah.
but I don't play one game.
It's got to be like the game to put 1,000 hours.
That's
like
why Skyrim is so high, is because I mean, also I've owned it for almost 10 years or whatever. Like, I played it so many times. It's like every time I play it, it's another 50 to 100 hours.
I think I'm a huge completionist. So like RPGs, especially, like I want 100%.
Oh,
and
yeah.
to where Warzone, it doesn't fucking end. Like there's no completing it. So I'm just on it day in and day out. Also, I'm trying to like, I would love to start like one of the things I want to do is start playing video games and making a little extra money off of it because I've spent so much fucking time and money on video games. So I'm like, let's create content. Let's, put TikToks out and try to do the Twitch thing and whatnot, So for me now, it's kind of become mentally, the same concept as being in a band. You kind of have that drive to kind of do more and more and more. And that's
for sure.
That's where I'm at with it. For that, that's why I'm fucking so much into it. It's just,
his bands have worked out so well.
So. Shut up.
I mean, hey,
It did not. It did not. We aren't 10 years deep. We are 5 years gone.
I'm rocking the merch 5 years later. I'm a hipster.
I mean, look, 10 years either says we're still going or it says y'all are still going.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
But if you're happy with what you're doing, then fuck it, And
I mean, no, dude. I tell people all the time is like, even if we're not touring full time, why would you stop doing something that you like doing?
Exactly.
Like, if we're all happy, playing shows here and there and still like writing music, then I don't really see a reason to break up.
Yeah,
like,
do what you want to, for sure.
Some bands just like break up because they feel like they have to. They're like, well, we can't tour full time anymore, so I guess we're done. I'm like, do you still like music? Like, you don't have to stop. Like, you know that, right?
I think I'm like one of the only ones out of the band that's still like doing music. I'm not doing it as intensive right now because of COVID, so I'm like, I don't really.
Oh yeah, I mean, God, we haven't done anything.
There's no
all
point.
year.
Like, I can't play a show, so I'm like, that's the pinnacle of doing like music at the level. That's the smaller level is playing shows.
I mean, you can play a show, you just be an asshole.
Yeah, that's true.
People have done it. It's not a good idea, but
in the beginning of this, it was definitely like, we saw a lot of we actually had the drummer from Saul on, and they when COVID first started happening, they played like festivals, like big festivals, the ones that still happened. And I mean,
Oh right, yeah, there were a
yeah.
few that still happen.
Well, because it's like nobody really fucking fully knew yet.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm always like, dude, I feel so bad for you guys because like I feel like when this is all kind of like starts to settle out, they're gonna turn around and be like, "You motherfuckers!"
You played a show, yeah.
So I will see. I don't know. Yeah, COVID has fucked everything up. I mean, you guys designed this shit from home, if I'm correct, right? Like most of it was done at home.
Cold War, and then like obviously everything that's happened in Warzone since March has been done from home.
Yeah,
I mean, not all of Cold War, but you know, the last 8 months of Cold War were done from home.
Very it's hard for me. That's all. Like, and you know, like obviously, I'm just gonna be upfront with you. It's
oh yeah, look, hey,
very
for real,
game for me to be like happy with.
I don't give a shit how people feel because. Yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, like I may have worked hard on something, but there is no game that exists ever that is for every single person.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I want you to enjoy it because I mean, I like the game. I play it more than I played Modern Warfare.
I enjoyed the fuck out of the campaign. I enjoyed zombies. The multiplayer for me.
The campaign's all that matters.
Oh, dude, it's lit.
That's
lit.
Yeah, that's like Raven led the campaign, and it is straight up my favorite. And this is not being a shill. I know I could say that as many times as I want. Somebody's still going to call me a shill. It's my favorite campaign since Black Ops 1. I'm a huge Black Ops fan. I've always loved Black Ops.
You didn't like the campaign?
I haven't played it for Cold War.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real honest.
You fucking bum. Why are you here?
You should. It's great. It's sick.
I saw Reagan in the trailer, and I just
he got triggered.
I mean, yo, hey, no, look. When I knew Reagan was in the game, I was like, I don't like that guy very much. I got some choice words for him.
Did you work on zombies at all?
No, I did. Just the we just like worked on the campaign
in Warzone, because Warzone's your guys' entirely, isn't it? It's Raven's fucking thing.
I mean, it's collaborative.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how exactly, you know, you guys obviously we had spoke about like a lot of the lore you put into it and whatnot, and there's a lot of like COD lore behind it that you get to explore and whatnot. How does that go for you guys? Like how do you decide what's next to put in, you know?
I wish I knew. I don't.
I guess it's true. I guess you just kind of get to edit it, but
yeah, I mean, like, cause they're like, I get to attend meetings and stuff for certain things, but I don't know who's on the narrative. I don't know who works on it. I mean, there's like 300 people that work at our studio, maybe something like that, 250, 300. I don't know. It's like a ridiculous amount of people.
Yeah.
I don't know who's on the narrative or who works on it, but I said this we have like, you know, we use like Slack, like every other business that works from home or otherwise. I've said this in like our public channels. I'm like, I don't know who works on the narrative. I don't know if you're reading this, but it's fucking sick. Yeah. And I don't think it gets enough props. Like,
no, it definitely is.
I know that like it's a battle royale game and people don't, I mean, obviously people do, but not a lot of people really give a shit about the narrative for the shooty game. But I think it's sick, and I like genuinely get stoked on the season trailers.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's always like the story content. Like I'm like pretty I don't know a better way to say it, but like educated on the story of Warzone. And every time we like update it, I'm just like, let's go, give me more.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be invested in it, but I just think it's cool.
It's kind of like when they'd release a new Overwatch operator or whatever, they'd have like the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Siege too. Like, so a lot of games have been doing that.
You know, and I think I feel like the credit is due to like one of the first ones that really started doing it, at least I think, was the whole Fortnite thing. You know, as a battle royale.
Fortnite is the trendsetter for everything.
Yeah, they changed the way that battle royale, I think, plays for sure, and how the storyline, like even like PUBG adopted the idea to start doing storyline because they're like, oh,
yeah, somebody said
context.
Yeah, they told me that recently. They were like, yeah, PUBG has like a narrative now. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah,
Smash has always had a narrative. I think they might have been the ones to incorporate.
Did you say Smash?
Yeah, Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, I guess that's the original battle royale, huh?
Maybe, yeah.
Kind
not
of.
as big, but like.
I
Smash
wish that
is
the
huge.
original Smash like narrative was the thing, like that they're all toys. That was my favorite incarnation of Smash.
Now
as a
they're fighting-
narrative.
Now they're fighting giant sky monsters.
Is there a
They're
storyline?
collaboratively,
on
yeah.
the- I didn't. See,
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
into
yeah, full
Smash.
blown.
Yeah, anytime there's a new DLC fighter, it's like, oh, this person joins the fight and they come and like fuck up whatever it is in their world or like,
Yeah,
they
I
just showcase them.
I'm absolute ass at fighting games, so I avoid them at
Same.
all costs.
Same with Mortal Kombat. That Mortal Kombat trailer, whenever they release one, is always dope as fuck. Like it might play like shit, but if they knock out that trailer, I'm gonna at least want to buy it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm such a huge fan of like narrative. I think for me it makes me care more. I just like being told stories. I mean, I've always been like a big fan of single player games, and so for anybody, you know, whether it's like us or another game, if you have like a multiplayer game, but there's still like a background narrative, I'm like infinitely more stoked on that. I think it's so sick when games do that. Plus, I like world building, and I think that like the way that Fortnite does it, the way that we do it, you know, like some of these other games is it's not just like here's the narrative, but it's also like here's the world. You know, you're learning more about like everything and not just specific characters.
I like I like how the map evolves too. I think even like the little and the big, like there's a lot of it that like I always kind of it goes forgotten a lot of the time because you play it for the first 2 weeks and you're like, oh, stadium's open, and then you just like, well, stadium's open. You know, you kind of
Dude,
forget
people
those
would not
things.
leave me alone about that.
Yeah.
When it before it opened, I was getting DMs from people. I swear to God, every day. Hey, is stadium opening? I'm like, even if it was, I can't tell you. Like, and they're like, come on, bro, we know it's opening. And I'm just like, I don't know, dude. I mean, obviously I knew,
When
but
is
like,
Dam gonna break and flood the map?
What?
When is
I
Dam?
don't think
going
that's
to break
happening,
and
my
flood the map?
guy. I'm pretty sure you can't swim in our game. I don't know if you know that.
That's, dude, when Rebirth Island and you get the Black Ops player that are like, yo, we can swim, and they fucking jump in the water, and I'm like, nope.
Wait, people
bitch.
are doing that?
Oh yeah, I've seen.
Oh
video
no!
videos.
I legit thought I could swim.
Yeah.
the first
Oh
time I
yeah,
played
you
it,
fucking
yeah.
did it.
I was like, yo,
That's
let me just land in the water real
hilarious.
quick. I'll just sneak up on him. Nope, insta death.
It would be cool to see that at some point. I think that'd be kind of
Yeah,
a cool
I mean,
feature.
I
Not
like.
a whole lot of water in Verdansk.
You said there's a
Hopefully,
lot of water?
There's not
There's
a whole lot.
not.
I mean, there is. If
Oh,
it
I
wasn't
was like,
frozen.
what game are you playing, dude?
Yeah.
There's like no water.
If it wasn't frozen, there'd be a lot. All
Yeah,
that
I mean,
shit's
that's true.
frozen.
Did you ever see I think I can talk about this because it's like not a thing that exists. Did you ever see like the rumor that there was like a monster under the lake?
Mhm,
Yeah.
up above dam.
So
Yep.
what was
Dude.
that monster?
Bro, it's a shadow from the clouds. I don't know if you know that.
No, I do now.
Straight
Just
up,
took it
if
out
you
of
look
the
at the
game. Stop
clouds,
lying.
when the clouds move over the dam, that's just a shadow.
Nah, that was a botched release. Don't lie to us.
We were waiting for the boss to come out. and be
I
like,
kept
"Oh."
reading those and I was like,
I thought it was a Travis
Wouldn't
Scott
have the-
concert.
Drake just
Travis
pops
Scott
up.
comes out he's like at the top of dam. He's like, oh, like just like, oh my God, dude. That honestly,
What's
that's
your
what it
opinion on
is.
that
That's
with
what it is
Fortnite?
now.
When they did that, like they're like virtual concerts throughout COVID.
My
yeah.
favorite one.
Yo,
how-
like what was your opinion on that? Like,
Oh, I mean, I think it's like insanely cool, but I specifically want to point out the Star Wars one because they included like lore in it, and that's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
There was like a
Star
whole
Wars.
piece of lore that was like tied to that, and it didn't like make Fortnite canon in Star Wars or anything, but it was like they gave you like a piece of lore about Palpatine. And everyone was just like, I should not have to fucking play Fortnite to hear about this. But I mean, I feel that way about Star Wars in general because Star Wars will be like, oh shit, we forgot to explain this thing. Well, if you read this book that we wrote, it's just like, no, I should not have to read a book to learn about something that was supposed to happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Yo, the Mandalorian though, that should be smacking. That is.
Dude, I was such a hater for season 1, to be honest.
No.
So I loved parts of season 1. I think one of the coolest things in the world was taking the ATST. Is it AT-AT?
AT-AT.
I always fucking confuse the two. ATST is the big horse. AT-AT
is the
oh my god.
AT-AT is the camel.
Is it?
ATST
Yes,
is the little
yes.
two-legged one.
ATST is the military whatever.
Yeah.
They turned it into a monster and it was fucking cool. That was one of the coolest episodes in my opinion. Like the way they gave it the red eyes and like the framing and everything.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, it's a monster." It's, you know, and it was cool. My big issue with season 1 was first, 2 episodes. They're like, "Here is this world-changing event of this character that now exists, and we're never going to talk about it ever again for the entire first season." And I was just like, okay, like,
yeah.
they're
We're
like,
gonna
all
talk
right,
about this little shit and what he's
here's
doing.
Baby Yoda, I'm Grogu now.
Yeah.
And we're never going to explore anything that has to do with him. We're getting there, but not for a year. And it's just like, bro, please don't do this to me. Like, please don't do this to me. You're literally like, you created like I said, the most like world changing thing in all of Star Wars for the past like 100 years.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, all right, so now Mando's just going to planet hop for a season and we're not going to talk about this anymore, other than like sometimes, but not enough to actually tell you anything.
What was your
I was like,
opinion on the spoilers incoming? I'm just gonna say that now. Spoilers incoming.
It's been out long enough.
Nah, yeah. What was your opinion on the CGI Luke coming back? How do you feel about that?
I don't want to see Luke Skywalker, to be honest.
Yeah.
Period. Like, I thought the cameo was like cool because it's like, oh, it's Luke. The CGI was bad, and everyone knows that by now. I've seen YouTube channels that made it better, which is impressive and also kind of sad. I think that Star Wars as a whole leans on Luke way too much, and I don't think we need it anymore. I think Mandalorian should be like the holy grail of, look, Star Wars can exist without the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
Period. And then they did it so well for 2 whole seasons, and then they were like, look, Luke's here, and it was just like, oh,
God damn it, we almost got
like, it was a cool cameo because I felt like it was the same thing like Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One, where it was the first time you see Darth Vader be Darth Vader. He always is like, he looks imposing, but you don't see him like fuck shit up. And then Rogue One, he just like goes ham, and it's awesome.
One of the greatest scenes in
Agreed.
history.
I think
Agreed,
Rogue
dude.
One in itself, like it was one of the best Star Wars movies.
It's Saving Private Ryan in space, and I love every single part of it. It's such a great film.
I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, so in that scene they get locked in that channel, right? And it's like Growl, Kilo, like MP5, or not MP5, but all like the ARs that have been meta brewing. And then when he puts his lightsaber out, it's like DMR. I was like,
oh my god.
Like,
there's always like pretty funny jokes about the meta. Like anytime the meta shifts, I mean, it's like that with any game since it's like, it's such a big deal. But and I always like seeing those.
I wish we could talk more about it, about the meta and about. I think we can talk about it, but we can't talk about. We were speaking before. We can't really talk about the brokenness of it because.
I mean, like I can't really comment on certain things because mostly because I don't work in that department. Yeah. I'm not a designer. So like if something changes, I don't have an explanation for it as much as people think I do. Cause I on Facebook or like on Twitter, like people, they like want to come from my throat about a change. And I'm just like, bro, I don't make those changes. I don't know if you know that or not. I don't do anything that has to do with that.
After today, you're now solely responsible for any problems I have.
Dude, that's what people think. You make that joke, but that's legit what people think. They will come to me and they will write a fucking paper, like an essay.
I've tried to like really avoid that because like since I learned that you were the QA of Raven, or a QA. I keep saying the. You know what, dude? You're the best QA.
I am the QA.
Yeah.
I am the QA.
Since I've learned that, I've like there are like certain moments where I'm like, man, like I kind of want to like bring this to this guy's attention and maybe like, and I'm not.
I don't
gonna,
mind
like,
when people send me stuff.
I'm not gonna write you.
I think
book.
that's totally
Do
fine.
his
Like,
job for him. Send him the bugs.
yeah, for real. All you're doing is just you're gonna inflate my bug count at work, and it makes me look good. So
there we go.
Then he
no, I mean I don't
becomes
mind
the
when people
QA.
tell me stuff because like I care about the game. I care about the
Yeah.
health of the game. But like I'm not when you message me, I'm not being paid. So send me like a sentence or don't send me anything at all. I get people send me like an essay and I'm like, are you paying me? Are you going to pay
More
me
bad.
money to read this? Because I'm now working. So
Yeah.
if you want to cash me, I'll send you my Cash App. I'll read your essay, respond, and then I'll bill you for that time.
I'll just start sending you videos of me pointing at stuff and like shooting at it. Just that shit right there. Fix that.
Look, yeah, it's like because I have friends who are like, can I tell you about this thing? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't. I mean, I care about the health of the game. You know, I do give a shit, but it's
very
just
awkward. Like
people
like,
send me essays, dude. Stop fucking doing that.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, fucking PSA for all you motherfuckers out there. Stop sending Austin essays. He doesn't care.
Dude, or like people will tag me and stuff. Like
Yeah.
accounts that don't follow me, by the way. Like you're not even gonna do the kindness to inflate my follower count on Twitter, but you're gonna tag me in something?
Obnoxious, dude. It's such a weird line because for me it's very awkward because like when we were talking and stuff, and like I could tell you're a cool guy. Like I've watched your streams here and there, and I'm like, there's no way that I'm like I'm hoping I'm not bothering him. I don't think I am, but
You
like even like trying to like when we were
You
talking
are.
about the podcast, I'm like, yo, do you want to come? Like every time I asked you like 3 or 4 times, and I felt so bad every time. But I'm like, I have to I want to push at this because I love this game and I would love to have this conversation. But it's always like very. I feel like I'm fucking being a bug that's just like, hey.
He's
Dude.
gonna fix you.
To be honest, like I'm like a pretty forward person. Like if somebody was like straight up bothering me, because I mean I do this. Like if somebody writes an essay to me on Twitter, I'll be like, this is my personal Twitter account. I'm not fucking reading this.
Yeah.
Just so you know. And like I don't have a problem. If people bother me, I'll just be like, you're annoying me. Just so you know.
Good.
Like so yeah, like that shit doesn't bother me. And like I said, it's like people care about this game, obviously. That's why people get upset when things happen. It's like whatever the thing that bothers them enough to like write a 50-page essay on, it's because they care. And I try to remember that. But also like you can't be an asshole to me because I don't get paid enough for one to listen to babies like cry at me. So I'm not going to do that. But like if people approach me and have a legitimate concern, if people approach me and have a legitimate concern, it's like, that's fine. I like this game. I want the game to be good. And if there's something that I missed or like, my friends and I missed or whatever, chances are we probably didn't miss it, to be honest. It's just that like people are busy and have like a million things to work on at once. And like, everybody that works on this game is very attentive and they know that like, it's just like sometimes they know shit is there, whatever the thing is like, and I don't even mean like in the live game. I just mean like they're smart people and they know that things need to be fixed. There are so many times I write bugs that they already know that thing is there, but I just have to send the bug off so that there's like a record of it, it's like, but we all care about the game.
How do you feel about like content creators, like big ones? Like I see people like Nick Merckx and like Tim the Tatman. Those are, that's definitely makes Call of Duty a lot of money, and they make themselves a lot of money off of Call of Duty. How do you feel about like I'll see them release videos and they'll be like, yo, this is fucked up or whatever, and I don't know what the fuck they're doing, or I'm gonna quit playing Warzone.
I mean, like they like the game. Obviously, it's like important to them. I mean, for more than one reason. I fucking love those content creators, by the way. I watch Tim like every day.
Fucking love Tim, dude. Like,
Yeah, I would consider myself a fan of Tim the Tam Man. I mean, that stuff doesn't bother me. For one, like I'm kind of like at the bottom of the totem pole, when it comes to the hierarchy. And so like it just like doesn't matter to me. Like I care obviously, but like I can't even address any of the things they say. So that's for people who get paid way more money than I'll ever make. That's like so far up the food chain that like it doesn't bother me. It's like those guys care about the game.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, some of it is opinion because making games is fucking wizardry at the end of the day, and like there is no like magic button that just like makes everything perfect and everyone ever will be satisfied. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. Like, the only time shit bothers me is like when I read stuff that's like straight up calling like me and my friends stupid. That's when I'm like, that's when I get mad because I'm just like, okay, you're mad, you're like upset, because like this game, and that's fine, but you can't be like a dick to people. Absolutely. Like that's not fair, It's like I don't come to your job and stand over your shoulder and be like, excuse me, Tom, that TPS report looks like shit. Like that's not nice. I wouldn't do that. Or or like excuse me, Derek. Some people do this, but I don't do this. This sandwich does not have enough meat on it, you fucking asshole. Like, I hate this sandwich. It sucks, and you suck. Like, I just don't do that. So, like, don't do that to game developers. That's not nice. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. It certainly doesn't want to make me, doesn't make me want to do my job any better because I'm like, oh,
yeah,
maybe I am incompetent. Like,
and that's yeah. And I think this was done on a status that we were speaking about all the stuff that's happening, and it was one of my friends, and like for me, it was fucking embarrassing. I'm like, man, like I want to I don't know if to get in the middle of this. And I was about to message the guy and be like, yo, stop being a fucking prick to my friends. Like,
oh yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I mean that whole thing it's the same thing. It was just like that dude really likes the game. He spends probably way more time than I spend playing it, and he has like a concern. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Please don't call me and my friends incompetent. We are doing our best. We can't fix everything. And just be nice to people. That's all it is. That's all I'm asking. Yeah. Just be nice to people. Nobody cares more about a video game than the people making a video game.
Absolutely.
Cyberpunk, nobody cares more about how bad that game is right now than the people who made it.
Man, I feel so fucking bad for that company. Like,
and that should be how everyone feels. They should feel bad. They should not be angry at them because it's not their fault.
Like,
their boss made them do that.
All these fucking basement dwellers sat there and literally attacked them and threatened them and say, put the fucking game out, and then you do it, and then they're like, all right,
they knew they had the power when they
every time they delay it and people are like threatening to like kill them over a game, and then they do put it out and they're like, why is this broken? It's just like,
fucking ready to put it out, you idiots.
You wanted it. Yeah, I mean, like that whole thing sucks, and I wish that the resounding I wish the echo from all of everyone ever was just like, we feel bad for them, because people should, because what likely happened, I mean, I don't know, this is all just speculation, but investors said, well, the game needs to come out because we want to make money, because they're a publicly traded company. So they were probably like, game needs to come out, we want to make money. And then they were like, okay, the bosses, like the guys at the head of the studio were like, all right, we'll release it. And they shouldn't have. And every single developer that slaved away on that game for, I mean, the first trailer came out 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Collectively just went, this fucking sucks. Because there is nobody that wants to release the sickest game ever more than the people who worked really hard to try to make the sickest game ever. And what people are seeing now is a game that is half baked, that every single person that worked on it would have loved to have way more time. And if they did, it would have been so sick.
Yeah.
I mean, and hopefully it gets fixed. I mean, hopefully they do get the chance to make it the game it should be.
Yeah, even in the state that it's in now, I mean, it's still like it has its
I have
problems, but it's still
serious issues with
fantastic.
it, but it's still very cool. It's right now to me, it's a good game. I wouldn't even use the word very. I would use it's a good game.
Is that
But
based on like what do you think of the storyline solely so far? Have you played enough of it to really get like into that
yeah,
and
I'm
like
like
feel that?
20 hours in. The
Mhm.
story's cool. It has super cool moments so far. I thought the Arasaka Tower mission, like the whole heist,
Mhm.
super fucking cool. I'm not gonna spoil what happens, but there was like a very sad moment that I thought like delivered super well. I really liked that. The game is like super gorgeous to look at most of the time. And yeah, I mean the story is cool so far. I really like the story. I have an issue with the systems because I'm an RPG fan.
Mhm.
I was told it was an RPG and what's there feels like really hollow or in some places feels non-existent. Um, Grand Theft Auto 5 has more RPG mechanics or I get not mechanics, but more systems than this game does. If I shoot people, the cops show up.
Yeah.
They don't appear out of thin air. In Cyberpunk, they just poof and they're there. And it's just like, okay, come on. Like
Yeah.
again,
But that's
that
definitely a
probably
byproduct
what
of
they
not
wanted to do.
yeah.
But they couldn't. So somebody went, I don't know what the fuck to do. The police have to show up. So real quick, here is this. They're just gonna poof.
Yeah.
And then hopefully later we can add in what it actually should be. But yeah, like right now it feels like an action, a first person shooter action game. It doesn't feel like an RPG to me. There is like the upgrading and stuff, but like it just kind of feels hollow so far. It might kind of like flesh it out more, and I feel a little bit better about it later. Obviously, I can't give like a full review of the game because I haven't beat it, but
Yeah.
yeah, right now it feels like an action game with some RPG mechanics, but it doesn't feel like an RPG to me.
From what I've seen, it kind of looks sort of like a Borderlands, like not like animation style, but like play style. Like
Oh,
obviously you have your subclass, and you can go and find different weapons and
Yeah,
yeah, but even like
different rarity.
Borderlands has that thing that he's talking about with the cops and like you go into a territory and you shoot at somebody in Borderlands, they're gonna their friends are gonna show up and start shooting back.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, that's a very good point that I've never really thought about. I guess I mean, there's a
yeah.
lot of
I mean that's why I like RPGs. Is I like the idea that anything can happen. Is like anytime I make a decision, the game will react. Whether that's smoke and mirrors or not, that's fine. But when you kind of get a peek through the curtain, you're just like, oh, this doesn't feel good. When you're walking around in the city and you're watching like NPCs just spawn in and out of nowhere, it's just like, oh, like because that's what happens. That is actually what happens in games. Is if you're not looking at something, it's not there for the most part. It's just not being rendered.
yeah.
But when you get the peek behind the curtain, the magic is kind of spoiled, and you're just like, oh, okay, because in Grand Theft Auto, do you think the cops get up out of their seats at the police station, walk out to their cars, and drive to you? No, that doesn't happen. But they spawn in where you can't see them, and so the immersion is there because
Yeah.
the only thing you see is the cops rolled up in their cars, and all that other stuff is just kind of fabricated inside your head, and you feel immersed. But when the cops just spawn in front of you, you're like, okay, that's just the game doing the game thing. Like,
But realistically, that is how cops appear in real life.
they just poof. Yeah,
I'm just speeding, and then bam, there's a cop behind
it
me.
does feel that way, doesn't it? Yeah, you break
Like,
the law,
wow.
and you're just like, oh, well, that's convenient.
It's more accurate than I thought. No. So
That's funny.
I'm going to ask about a few things that I would like to know about that are just like they're kind of weird questions. I think, in my opinion, there's stuff that obviously you can answer them, you can not answer them. I kind of would like some of them to be debunked because I feel like a lot of it's bullshit. if I'm being honest. SBMM. How much do you know about skill-based matchmaking, and how much?
Literally nothing.
Literally nothing.
Literally nothing.
Okay. How have you heard about the recent rumors of like the gaming routers and whatnot, and how they changed your region to put you in bot lobbies in Warzone?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's some crazy shit out there. There's some crazy conspiracies for this game, man. You guys
I
have
mean,
spawned some
dude, any
wackos.
game that's this big, like any game, is always going to have whether they're right or wrong. I mean, the bot lobby thing, I can't even speak on it because I legitimately have never even heard of it. But I mean, yeah, any game that's huge is like some corner of Reddit is like gonna come up with some like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the internet spawned. We were just talking about the fucking beast under the lake.
Yeah.
We know there's a beast under the lake, and I was just like, that's a shadow. I don't know what you want. There's never been like a monster in any Call of Duty game that I'm aware of. I mean, like zombies, obviously, but like,
Yeah.
you know, like there's a beast. There's no Loch Ness monster. I can fly under the map. There's no. There's nothing there.
I'm ready to fucking pop out the lake.
I mean, honestly though, like I'm about to pitch it now.
Yeah, dude.
So thanks, internet. I'm like, we need a beast under the lake.
And you can have like MGK spawn on the other side, and they can fucking fight in the middle.
Fight it out in stadium,
dude. Holy shit, let's go. When is a game gonna do like a Godzilla collab?
Fortnite would probably be the first one, to be honest.
I feel like that's a Fortnite thing for sure. Dude, Fortnite sucks.
They can do so
much.
They do
so many cool things, and I'm bad at that game, so I don't want to play it.
Like you don't want to see that shit in Warzone, or like the hardcore people are like, I don't want to see that in Warzone.
I think
that what in Warzone?
So sick.
Just like random collaborations, like the Halloween one was cool, but like Fortnite has like Master Chief and like
for sure,
I
yeah.
don't want to see that shit, but that's like cartoony and kid.
Yeah,
like the thing is for me, like I think of Fortnite and I think of children, I think of kids playing the game, and like it's for me, like the stuff that they've done makes sense. They added the Star Wars stuff, they had the Halo stuff, they had like all the child shit that like it's dear.
Oh, hold on,
but we're adults now. So
hold on. I like Star Wars and superheroes. I'm confused.
I do too, but I don't want to see it in my game where I'm blowing people's brains out and hitting them with
Why
not?
You don't want to. I'm sorry. I'm just confused. You don't want to play as
Star Wars collab in Warzone though.
You don't want to play as.
I can't visualize it. That's my problem.
You don't want to play as Logan Howlett, Wolverine, with a machine gun, because I do. I just don't want to have to build.
I just want a lightsaber as like a melee weapon, or
that'd be
so like dual Kodachis.
Okay, for example, the 8-bit pack that came out that had the when you hit people and they turn to like fucking.
Oh, I love that pack.
That for me is too fucking cartoony in Warzone. Like that.
Oh, I love it.
Me. Like I'm like when I see it happen, I'm like that's like it's out of context. If that makes sense for me.
Yeah, I mean,
so like
I obviously again I don't make those decisions, so like this has nothing to do with me, but I love that stuff. When I see that stuff pop in the store, I'm like, I'll take it. Yeah. I like personally don't really buy operators and stuff just because I'm not really. Cold War has changed that. I'll say that, but I don't normally buy operators because I just don't really like the like mill kind of like everything's just kind of like mill semi. Which, like, I get. That's literally the game. You know, it's like, I'm not complaining about it because I understand why it is. But the Leatherface thing, I was just like, oh, this is. Not only is it a character I love, but it's different. And I liked it. Cold War has more fun skins, which I've been stoked on.
I feel like that sits in the realm, though. Like, that makes sense. Like, Leatherface and COD, like, to me, like, mentally, when I think about that, I'm like.
I mean, it's a grisly, violent, like, yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's the what's the word I'm looking for? The like the environment, the fucking
the theme,
not the ambiance, aesthetic. The aesthetic, yes. It's like the aesthetic of the game. So I guess when that changes drastically out of nowhere for me, I get kind of like I'm like.
Have you seen the Cold War skins?
I've seen a few of them. I very much enjoy I like the Sledgehammer guy.
Yeah,
he's tight.
I just
yeah, I can't remember his name. I know who you're talking about.
All I know is that smacking someone in the back
Okay,
of the head with a sledgehammer.
Dude, that's my
80s
favorite
ones,
execution in the game
where
is the
dudes are,
sledgehammer.
like dressed in like all 80s. And
Do they have that now? Is that a thing right now? Like
Who?
the 80s?
Yeah, they're like some 80s themed skins and shit.
Oh,
like,
dude, there's a
operators in Cold War.
ton.
Yeah.
Adler has like this. He looks awful. Like he looks like haggard as fuck. But he has like this Miami skin that's dope. He's wearing it's like a light gray suit, and it's like all unbuttoned in the front, and his hair is slicked. But he looks like shit because his face is like so marred.
Yeah.
But his hair is like slicked back, and it's fucking sick. I think he's got like a chain on.
I would love to see like a Motley Crue collaboration. Oh god, I want to go in with the hairspray, my friend.
I mean, I don't even know that you need a Motley Crue collab. You could just do like a like what's that hair metal like skin. Honestly, it'd be kind of sick.
That would be so.
Portnova has a goth skin, which is fucking sick.
Yeah.
She's like wearing fishnets and has like black fingernails. It's so tight.
Tight. There are some good ones.
Who else?
I think
Adler has a cowboy skin. It's badass.
Yeah, the what's his name? You say you didn't. Thomas was like, I didn't
the
buy it. Yeah, Mort. Yeah.
It's basically a Morte skin, but yeah, it's Adler. I think it's called Gunslinger is the skin.
I think that's one thing with this game that I appreciate a lot. Compared to a lot of other games, the skins are like most of the time off the fucking charts. Like you don't get like Siege's skins make me want to fucking bash my head into a wall. I absolutely dread the DLC.
I didn't even know they had skins in that game.
They do.
I haven't played that game in a long time.
There's not a lot of good ones. There are moments of cool stuff and like, but there's all these people on Twitter that are part of the community that are designing these cool ass skins all the time. And they're like, hey, fucking put this in the game.
Young Capital.
See, the problem with that is legally, if somebody designs something and sends it to a company, unless that company like reaches out to that individual and like purchases that artwork, like they cannot. Dude, that's such a mess. If they were to even like mess it, go ahead.
They've done that before. There was a person that sent them a skin, like they submitted it,
and they
bought it. They bought the artwork off of them, and they used it in the game, and it's been a big part of it because the thing is it has like this red. It looks like Red Bull, but it's not. And so even Red Bull like reached out and was like, hey, like we want to fucking put a trademark on that skin because we would like to like work with you guys. So it's crazy.
See, that's kind of cool because it's like you're engaging your community.
Yeah, but that's the only time they fucking done it. Outside of that, it's just these boring ass fucking. Why do I have a yellow Spaz 12 called Banana? Like fuck you. Like, this is lazy.
That's awesome.
So fucking lazy.
It's COVID brain.
And no, this was years year fucking 3 of Siege. We're on year 5 now. Like. But with Warzone and with the Call of Duty skins, it's fucking popping. 90% of the packs I look at, I'm like, I'm gonna buy this. I've spent well over $500 to $600 on fucking skins since Warzone come out.
He popping off.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No,
he's got a problem.
I love the game. I spend a lot of time and I spend a lot of money on it because I love it. That being said,
that's the best part about it though. So you don't have to spend money on it. That's why I love free games.
Yeah. Was that
my ass be grabbing? What's up?
I wonder how that decision came about because you weren't with the company when it released, did you?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. Free games are sick. I guess that's to me. That's just like
free games.
That's the justification.
Microtransactions, and Activision was already thriving off of microtransactions.
I mean, that's everybody. That's the whole industry, to be honest.
Let me get up in
dude.
there.
People be harping on microtransactions, but here's the thing. Games are so, and this is not like to justify any. I mean, I had an issue with the Star Wars Battlefront 2 microtransactions. There's a way to do it right, and there's a way to do it wrong.
Yeah.
But like, I think something people kind of dismiss a lot is like, dude, games are fucking insane as far as budgets go to make. And granted, games make a lot of money, but like that's not always guaranteed, and especially like continued development of games, like. Obviously, Fortnite. That game costs like unbelievable amounts of money. I can't like really say anything because like I've talked to people, and like when I hear budgets, I'm like, oh my god, and they're just like, oh yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. That's so much money.
So wait, is Fortnite more than it has a higher budget than Warzone does?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know how much our game costs to make.
Oh, okay.
You would
Again,
think so with all
those
the
are meetings that I'm not a
licensing
part
shit
of.
that they do with
I
like
guess.
these collabs.
Yeah, I guess with the collabs that makes sense,
Yeah.
but not. Yeah, that's interesting. Because
I literally don't even know.
Aren't
I have friends that work at Epic that are like, or did that are high enough that they like were in meetings about that stuff, and I was just like,
high enough for those meetings.
"What'd you say?"
Get a job, buddy.
Said I wish I was high enough for those meetings.
That's one of the crazy parts. I think is the money that is definitely like you compare it to like movies. I think in a way, I feel it's not always as much, but the work that's put into movies sometimes it feels like it's less work than what's put into a game, and games are like.
I mean, movies take most of the time. Obviously, there are exceptions. Movies take less time to make, and they're over quicker, right? So like a movie, you don't fix a movie after it comes out unless you're Cats.
Or Sonic.
Sonic, yeah, they got bullied into.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Honestly, though, great decision. I fucking loved that movie, and I thought it was amazing. And the first design was not good.
Yeah.
Internet
like
bullying
movies
does work.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, is like I just wish people could be nicer about it. What'd you say?
I said to the right people, just not you. Like,
don't bully.
Don't bully.
Well, yeah, like so like the Sonic thing, like don't bully the fucking artist, because there's a pretty good chance that like they gave them a sheet of different designs and like some exec was like this one, and the guy was probably like, "Are you sure? Because that's like the one I was gonna throw away." and he was like, "No, kids like this one for sure." Like because movies get they get like what's that called? They get like tested a lot, like market research.
Oh yeah.
And almost certainly what they did is they did a bunch of different designs, and then they showed them to like a bunch of probably like young kids, like maybe 8 to 10 or like 8 to 12, and they were like, "Which design do you like the most?" And they were probably like, "This one," and it was like the one that sucked. And they're like, "Well, market research says this is the one that's good," and they probably like ignored the fact that Sonic has been around for like 40 years and that people who like Sonic wanted to see that movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Kids like this one." And then they like signed off on it, and they were just like, "Okay." And then people got pissed, and then they were like, "Your market research sucks."
Like all these 30-year-olds like our trailer, but they hate it.
All these 30-year-olds want to see the Sonic movie. Who thought? It's like, yeah, because we fucking like Sonic, dude.
Yeah.
I went to go see Detective Pikachu in theaters.
How did that
I
go?
saw that.
Oh,
Bro, that movie's so good.
Is it?
That movie is
So when I saw all those trailers and I saw the backlash, everything, I'm not huge on Pokemon. Sonic, I kind of grew up with a little bit, but I was very like I'm just gonna stay away from these as long as possible.
No, you should watch both.
Brothers cinematic universe.
What'd you say?
Seriously? No.
Oh,
that was the joke when they released it. Now there's gonna be like a live action Mario film. With like poorly done CGI.
There is actually a Mario movie coming, but it's not live action. There is a CGI Mario movie coming, and I will be there day one. Oh, I remember it. I watched it recently. I watched it like
you didn't watch
probably 8 months ago.
No. Are you
It's
talking about
bad.
the live action one? The TV show?
The one where like
No. The TV show's good. You're talking about Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I fucking love that show. No. There's a movie with John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins, who you've ever seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He plays the detective in that movie. And Dennis Hopper plays Bowser. And it's a PG-13 Mario film. And the Mushroom Kingdom is basically just a nightclub under the streets of New York. And
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's a fucking nightmare of a movie, and it's awesome, and you should definitely watch it.
You should watch it just to fucking. It's kind of like the Room. It's such a fucking mess.
It's just a disaster, and so it's super fun to watch.
Yeah.
The Goombas are insane looking. They will make you lose sleep.
They did a good job on it.
Dude,
To a
it's
point.
such a terribly great movie.
It's weird that things like that happen. I don't feel like we have that in. I guess we do have that in gaming.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I was gonna
definitely have
say
cool
there are
gaming.
definitely games that suck so
Like-
bad they're awesome.
Goat Simulator.
I fucking love Goat Simulator.
Yeah, but Goat Simulator's on purpose.
Untitled Goose Game also up
What the?
there.
I've never heard
That
of that.
game
one.
doesn't even suck. That game is just great. It's just a good concept. You
Untitled
never
Goose
heard of
Game,
Untitled Goose Game?
So many hours.
How have you never heard of this? This was like a
I don't know.
cultural staple
No, yeah,
in 2019.
Well, you guys released
He's
Warzone.
too busy
and my
playing
soul got
Warzone.
Sucked in.
All right, look,
Just break
I might
Warzone
get-
real quick. Hit the
I
button.
might get fired by this, but I'm gonna need you to take the next $20 you want to spend on something in Warzone. You're gonna need to go buy Untitled Goose Game instead.
You got Game Pass Ultimate? It's on there.
I do.
That's,
There we go.
that is
There.
facts. That is facts, dude. It's a game where you play as a goose and you do goose shit,
You just
which
fucking
is
shit
to
up the
say
goose.
you piss people off.
Like, do you get to like eat breadcrumbs and shit?
You
No.
steal hats and stuff, and
You
Still hats.
You
Yeah.
just annoy
you just do
people.
goose shit. You know.
It's quite literally the most genius concept for a video game ever.
How, like, the crazy thing is like how addicted to Warzone I am is like fucking off the charts. Like, I skipped over the surge of. I played Fall Guys like twice on stream because I was like, this game's popping, I'm gonna play it. Got more viewers than I ever like really had playing Fall Guys because that's just the way it fucking goes because it's a popping game. I played it twice. I skipped over the Among Us hype, which is still happening. I can't. Like, it's supposed to be really fun, and I think it would be fun. Phasmophobia, I've skipped over it, and the only fucking reason I'm skipping over these games is because I'm
Dude,
glued to this stupid
See,
fucking battle
but-
royale.
but
that
I
with
just
those
has me.
respect the
think
grind.
Warzone went
Play
there.
other games though. You're
I don't
literally
think
missing
Among
out.
Us.
I know, and I know I am, but the thing is I'm gonna play it when there's no hype on it. That's how it
Exactly.
works. I'm gonna be weird about it, and like I'm gonna like.
You've missed that fad in gaming. Now it's.
But you know what? At the same time, though, like I think the important like the thing is like doing streaming is like just like doing music in my opinion. Like you do what the fuck you want, you know. Like and no matter like if you're trying to pop or not, like if you do what you want, you do what you enjoy, then it's gonna happen. However, I am missing important pieces of gaming. In my
I think
opinion.
there's like a healthy balance of you kind of like, how do I put this? You find something that's fun to do, but you put yourself in a position to be successful.
yeah.
Because like that's what music is, and that doesn't always work. But you try to strike. Well, I don't know what the goddamn saying is. Like strike iron while it's hot or something.
Yeah,
but- Like the best example I can give is like I always wanted to write a song where I sang, but we were like afraid to do it because we played like heavy music.
Mhm.
And then I was like, man, fuck that. I want to do this because that's what I want to do. But also, I think there's like a lot of people who might hear this song for the first time and go, huh, this is pretty good. What other songs do they play? And then they might listen to like our heavy songs and be like, okay, I like
Yeah.
this. And then to me, that's like what streaming is. It's like just fucking write the sing song. Don't be afraid to do something different.
Yeah.
And even if it's like a little weird or a little out of your comfort zone and you're not like, 100% on board with it just yet, like do that. And then you bring people in and then they go, oh shit, I like this other thing he does too. And then you're, then you have like you start growing a fan base or whatever.
I think the podcast is definitely the sing song of my channel so far. This is a huge
Hey,
jump.
yeah.
This is something that I like. It's so that first one. I'm so happy that I'm friends with Miles and know him because it was so fucking awkward for me,
Yeah.
bro. It's nerve wracking. Like, and I've talked to like the other one I did alone with Andy. Andy K. He works down with Andrew Wade at the studios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the old band went and recorded with them. So I think this is the first one that's like out of my comfort zone, like entirely. Because I know you on Facebook, but I don't know you like we've never like truly spoken, in my opinion. Like, so
Right.
it's
I don't know
all
anybody that.
yeah.
comes on this
I
show.
drag you on. And, like, just sit here and talk shit. You'll be the comic relief. So yeah, I mean that does I agree with you. I don't know. I guess I'm still trying to figure it out. streaming is so fucking different for me, or well, in general, like from music.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think about it and I'm like, yeah, like music is universal. Getting people addicted to music is like easy because everybody listens to music. Not everybody watches a 25-year-old fat kid yell at 12-year-olds who can shoot them in a video game. So it's like I'm still trying to find that balance.
It's an acquired taste.
It's different. Yeah.
I mean, people watch a 30-year-old, or I'm almost 30. How old am I? 28? I don't know.
Getting there.
People watch a 28-year-old man cry over video games. So yeah, I've cried more times on stream than I think I've cried in my personal life over a fucking video. And not like mad cry, like sad.
Emotional.
Dude, I beat Red Dead Redemption 2 on stream when it came out, and I fucking bawled my eyes out.
Which one?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, dude,
I got to the end of that game, dude. I was just like, people are like, are you crying? And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm crying. This game is sad. I cry all the time. I mean, not all the time, but I just like stories.
I do too. Yeah, that's one of the best parts. I think that's. I don't think my personal opinion about Call of Duty and where it's at right now is it would I think it was gonna die. I really do. I think they would have continued to release them, but I feel as if the game would have very much plummeted unless we got Warzone. Without Warzone, in my opinion, this game does not thrive like it. Like this is Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2. Like that series when it came out was huge. It was a huge pop. Like I remember it being on like the news and shit, you know? So we see that, and then you look at now, and it's even gone up even more. Now, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got that bitch too.
Exactly. Like those were the most vital times for this game, and I think now has beaten it. Because we were Black Ops like 4 and Advanced Warfare, we were falling apart. I was.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't play those games, to be honest.
Gaming now.
You think so?
Yeah, like if Fortnite and PUBG didn't take off, we'd still be on COD multiplayer. Like that would be the activity, or you're gonna be an RPG player. Like you either go FPS multiplayer or nothing.
Friends are weird.
Or MOBAs. Like I mean,
they're like
so
honestly difficult to understand.
Nooks and crannies in gaming.
I feel like MOBAs are like the
those will never die.
Those are the kids in the corner that are like, meh.
Don't fucking call me out like that. First off,
dude. To be honest, though, MOBAs are bigger than like any other game.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah. League of Legends will never die.
The PR, the pro leagues always are. The PLs are huge.
Like, I mean, yeah, like you know, I'm sure that there are people who work at CDL that would love to see a like actual stadium packed full of people for CDL. Doesn't happen. It does happen for League of Legends though. They have full blown fucking intense. Super Bowls.
I thought CDL was way bigger than I thought that.
No, it was like there is no esport bigger than League of Legends.
Yeah, well, I knew that.
That shit's on ESPN sometimes.
Yeah, well, they even Rocket League's on ESPN sometimes. Yeah. But I feel like I see CDL. I always thought
CDL is like big as far as I know. I mean, like I don't really follow esports.
Yeah,
it's just not like my thing. But League of Legends is what's the pro or the big event every year for League of Legends? What's that called? I can't remember.
League World Championship.
Yes, Worlds. So
League Worlds.
That is legitimately Super Bowl sized. Like in viewership and attendance, it's unbelievable. They legitimately have like a fucking football stadium and it sells out and it is as big as the Super Bowl. It is unbelievable.
They show up for their shit, man. That's wild. I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah.
I see like I think the biggest the most I've ever followed really was the Siege Pro League.
Yeah, that's like tiny in comparison.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even like
your concert as opposed to like Metallica or something.
Like, who versus Metallica?
Do what?
Who did you say versus Metallica?
Storm's band versus Metallica.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, it's like it's like you have like the Overwatch League, which is like huge in the US and I mean and overseas, but that's like your band playing a 100 cap venue, and then there's like Worlds, which is your band playing above Metallica.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that shit is so huge, dude. It's unbelievable.
I'm gonna run to the pisser right quick. I'm gonna let you ask your weird ass questions. What you got?
They only
said he
weird
did-
ass questions. Wait, what? Go ahead.
I would say he said he didn't have any weird ass questions. He
Well,
walked
now
away.
it's time. Now it's time for the weird questions.
Oh, is it?
What's your guilty pleasure of gaming? Everybody has their niche, you know. Like Storm obviously is on the battle royale train. I mean, I play with Storm, you know, whenever it's time for Warzone or whatever we're doing for the night. But like if I'm by myself, I'm playing Smite or any sort of MOBA.
Oh shit, I've been playing Smite a little bit.
Ooh.
Did you ever play Paragon?
I did not.
So Paragon's like my favorite. That's my favorite MOBA ever, if you can call it that. I mean, it technically was, even though it was different.
Mm-hmm.
So I played Smite a little bit recently, just because like I really miss Paragon, and it's not the same, but it's like the closest I can get. There is a game in early access that is like basically the same thing as Paragon, but it's in early access, and so it's like not perfect. So I just miss Paragon. That's all. That's where I was going with that. I don't know. My niche is I'm mostly just like narrative games. Like
Yeah.
if I'm playing something by myself, like I don't open Call of Duty. I basically won't play multiplayer games by myself. I pretty much only play single player games. Like I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn lately. Like I've been playing that a ton. I just streamed Night in the Woods, which was really good, and that's just like a straight up narrative. There is basically no gameplay other than walk, and I love games like that. Like people call them like walking simulators, but like I straight up play so many of those games.
It's kind of like Alan Wake. Remember that one?
Bro, that is not a walking simulator. Get
You
the
don't think
fuck out of here.
Dude, when I
That is
played
my-
it, it felt like one.
That's my favorite game of all time, next to
Is it really?
Control.
Oh man.
Hold on.
See,
Freaking
well,
nerd on that
I've
one.
never.
You gotta take the headset off again. He's like, hold the fuck up.
Are there two of them? Oh, he's got the
Oh.
whole ass box set. Eek.
Jeez.
I got the special edition
Oh. Busting out the steel book.
with the sealed copy of the game.
Oh, wow.
I got the soundtrack.
Wild.
I got the book. Fuck around, dude. Alan Wake is the best game. Even though I know.
I never finished it because when I played it, I was like fucking 12 and had the attention span of a goldfish.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games where like it is not popular, like like in the grand scheme of things, and I know that a lot of people don't really care about it, but I don't know why. It's just like I'm a huge fan of Twin Peaks. I mean, clearly, I forgot I was wearing this hat. I'm a huge fan of like Twin Peaks and like X-Files, and for me, Alan Wake and Control, which is the same studio, came out last year. It's like if they took X-Files and Twin Peaks and made a smoothie and then dumped it all over SCP. I don't know if you're familiar with that. What?
What'd you say?
Did you say ICP?
No.
Oh.
No, SCP.
Alan Wake with fucking
Yeah, so
clown
I like
paint
Alan Wake
hatchets.
because I love ICP. No, SCP is Secure, Control, Protect. It's like an internet thing where the lore surrounding it is it's basically like this government facility where all of like the most dangerous creatures from myth are kept.
Huh.
And it's kind of like where Slender Man comes from and like others like shit like that.
Yeah.
That's like what Twin Peaks or not Twin Peaks, Alan Wake and Control are for me. It's like that mixed with Twin Peaks mixed with X-Files. Like it's just the weirdest shit in the world, and that's why I resonate with it. But it's not for everybody. I had a friend play it recently, and he was just like, "Yeah, I got to be honest, man, that game sucked." And I was just like, "That's fine. I don't know why. Like I'm in love with it, but it's like totally fine that people don't like it."
Everybody has their abnormal tastes, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It's like it's fine that people don't love it. I'm always gonna just be super insanely in love with it, but Some people don't like horror movies too. I don't get it, but you know, it is what it is.
Horror movies tattooed on my arm.
You have horror movies tattooed on your arm?
I have the Ed and Lorraine from
Oh yeah,
Conjuring.
dude, that's sick.
I don't know if you can see it. I guess this camera. Which camera is it for you? That one, isn't it? No, right here.
I don't know. I mean, I got your stream open. Oh, nice, dude. That's sick.
Got La Llorona.
That's tight. Yeah, I'm not like super into that series, but I liked.
It's the creature design, man. It's so sick.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Nun. But yeah, I mean, I like those movies. I'm not super into them. I don't love like paranormal movies a lot of the time.
That's fair.
Some of them I do, but like I don't know. I feel like I got burnt out on them, and so like now anytime they're like, "There's a new paranormal movie," I'm just like, ugh. Yeah. I like gore and I like creatures.
Yeah. No, for sure. And there was a phase from like 2012, 2000, like there's this 4-6 year gap where literally every fucking movie that came out was a paranormal movie.
Yeah, that's like what burnt me out was like it's another possession movie, and it's just like, oh, come on, man. Can we do anything else?
It's like the Babadook and fucking like
dude, Babadook by all accounts was a good movie that people liked. I did not like it at all. And I love like artsy horror films. I'm like a big A24 fan. You know, I like Midsummer and The Lighthouse and like all that shit.
We've yet to finish that in my house. Like we put it on. Yeah.
Midsummer is a different breed of a movie.
It is. It's pretty. Wild. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Yeah, I like artsy films, but man, I watched The Babadook and I was like, I hated this. I just thought it was not very good.
I mean, really enjoyed that one. I don't know. I guess I
like the character. Yeah. Like I like the Babadook. I just didn't like the movie. Sinister. That's my shit, though.
Yeah, the second one fucking sucked, though.
I did not like the second one at all. They should have just not made a second one.
No, they should have left it at the first one. The first one was so good. I saw that movie in theaters, and I was like, "This is fucking petrifying." Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
The like, just the sound design and like the aesthetic of like all the tapes, like, dude, it's so good.
Having
absolutely
Nick
insane.
As a monster.
Yeah. I remember when I saw him, I was just like, "That's either Mick Thompson or some dude cosplaying as a black metal vocalist."
Yeah,
I'm
like, that dude
so
plays
confused.
Guitar for Slipknot. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, it makes sense that he looks like a black metal vocalist because I think in the lore he's like he's like a European demon. Like he's like a demon from like a European
that's their shit. Right?
Religion.
Yeah.
All Europeans like black metal. That's what that was my there's my blanket statement for the day.
All of them.
If you're European, you like black metal. Sorry, that's just how it is.
So, how competitive is like the video game industry compared to the music industry?
I think it is easier to get into the music industry. But I mean, and this is like kind of true with any job, but I feel like the music industry, and maybe I'm just jaded. I try not to be, but the music industry is very, nobody is your friend. Mm-hmm. That's the best way I can put it. There is almost nobody who wants to actually be your friend. They are only interested in what you can, if you can create wealth for them or not, whether that's like social capital or like monetary. Most people are not actually there to, see you succeed. They don't give a shit if your dreams come true. It's just, are you going to get me paid, or are you going to allow me to climb the social ladder? If you can't do either of those things, then I am not interested. That being said, there are genuine people. And I mean, I'm sure any industry is going to have like an issue with social capital and like, trying to climb the social ladder and stuff like that. It exists in the video game industry, but I think the music industry is more cutthroat. But that's also just because I've been through it.
I feel like the music industry forces you to play that game, no matter how genuine you are. Like you have
Yeah.
to know people. You have to like crawl over people. Like there's
hmm
no other way to truly like. There's no purity in it, like by any means. It's very much like if you want this as a career, you have to climb. And
Yeah.
there's not really like
Yeah, you
can't
have
just
to like play the game.
yeah, you can't just like team up and make your way forward. It's not going to work.
Right.
Someone is going to be below you, what or and above
And
you.
putting out a sick record means nothing.
Absolutely not. Not
Unless you know the right people, like putting out a sick record means nothing. And I don't even mean like just my band. I don't toot my own horn very often, but I genuinely think my band rules. But I know other bands who are even smaller than my band who have put out records that I think eclipse ours in every facet, and they've gone nowhere. It's
and even
ridiculous.
vice versa too. Like I mean, you know, a lot of time there are bands who you'll see put out like records that are very lackluster, but the thing is that
they have the promotion.
The promotion is easy. That's the thing. You just targeting it properly, having the right guys talk about it, having the you know, like having someone have your back who's already in something established means a lot.
Oh, that's huge, dude. I mean, we toured with Beartooth twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's just because we knew them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I'd like to think that the decision was because we know you, plus we like your band. I mean, you know, by all accounts, that is true. But, I mean, you know, bands our size don't just go on tour with Beartooth. Like, that's not a thing that happens. But we knew somebody. And like, I'm super thankful for that because we got to do cool shit. Yeah. But I also could have probably given you a laundry list of bands who probably deserve that opportunity more than we did.
Mm-hmm. Either you know them or you pay them.
For sure. Yeah. That's a thing that a lot of people don't know exists. That like you can buy onto tours.
Mm-hmm. We were working with David from Weekar, their drummer.
Oh, David Puckett. Yeah. Him and I have been friends for a long time. Like
I haven't
9 years now.
So the band and everything, I don't know, it went really bad. Things were not good when it all ended. And it ended with like a lot of like people throwing like accusations and shit. It was just rough. But he had worked with us during the whole thing, and he was like, he was very genuine, you know. But I also like I think I'm one of the only people that realized I'm like he has to play this game. This is how he makes money.
Oh
like,
yeah,
so he
absolutely.
I mean, marketing.
David is like a very genuine dude, but he also knows how to market things.
Yeah,
and marketing, let's be honest, is just selling people.
Yeah, but it's like one of the most important pieces of that puzzle, in my opinion. So I remember trying to, I think he has a stain from the band, not like he does. I tried to message him, I think a couple months after everything went down, because I was like, yo, like I want to work with this guy still. He didn't respond, and I'm like, shit, like this whole thing fucked that up. So maybe one of these days I'll reach back out, but it's weird how quickly that relationship disintegrates, just because like if like that name's attached to anything, that was, like all the crap that was said and all the shit and the muck that was thrown, he's smart enough to go, not touching it. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know.
I mean, he's got to look out for himself. You know. I mean, that's like the worst part is people just got to be looking out for themselves, because shit can go very bad very quickly.
I feel like there are certain bands who have immunity from it though. That because they've only
sometimes big to fail. Yeah. That does happen. A Day to Remember has like repeatedly had accusations thrown at them about being massive pieces of shit. And
and I've met, like when we were down there, I met them and they were fucking no problem. So maybe when they're on tour, they're just moody and cranky motherfuckers. I mean,
I don't mean like mean. I just mean like sleeping with underage women.
I've heard about those accusations too. That was something me and Andy spoke about, because Andy is obviously really close with them, being that they own part of the studio that he works at.
Oh, word.
Yeah, with Wade. So like, there's a lot, like, it's very there's a lot more, I think, to it. You know, it's just one of those things, man. The social climate we live in is very, it's very touch and go, and you have to be very careful. And so, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. For me, it's easy because I just like live my life in a way that when I wake up every day, I just choose to be kind to people.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's honestly the easiest decision I make pretty much every day is like
Yeah.
just not to be like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't fuck with the day to remember. I mean, for a lot of reasons. But like, you know, that's just me. You know, it's like I'm not here to tell people how to feel about whatever issue they're facing with whatever thing they like. But
I feel like
yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
A lot of the Florida bands, the ones that work with Wig, kind of have that immunity. Like Attila does too. I feel like no matter what the fuck
Dude,
they do,
yeah. Again, yeah, it's like massive pieces of shit by all accounts. And like for some reason, I mean, it also comes down to like your fan base though, right? Is like if your fan base collectively decides that like they don't care that you might be a rapist, then that's it. I mean, like they're the ones that pay your bills, so like you get a pass. Tim Lambesis from As I Lay Dying, same thing. Like that dude tried to like that dude. That's not even an accusation. Like that dude tried to have his wife killed, and his fan base is just like, that's cool.
That was such a big thing when he came back out. You know, there's a big argument in the music community, and like, man,
I don't get to make that decision. That's how I feel.
Do I?
I don't get to make a decision because the only decision I get to make is like whether I fuck with that person or not, or like fuck with the art they create. But like, I can't force other people to believe the same thing I believe. And you know,
that's a fucking healthy way to think about it. I think a lot of people don't think about it that way. Instead, they think that they can just fucking like,
this offends me, it should offend you too, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
I mean, like
you can put
I think people should be offended by things. Like there are things that I'm like, you should be offended by this, but like I can't make you care, which sometimes breaks my heart. But like I can't force you to care about it, you know. So like I'm just gonna do the best thing I can do, which is
not care about
keep living my life and like you know advocate for the things I believe in, and you know if people want to be a part of that, then tell you. If they don't, then I mean I guess fine. I can't make you care.
There's a very I don't know. It's man, I've found myself in so many like weird positions when it comes to all that because I'll have friends who like there was a band we worked with and we did a song, and it was like the song was politically like driven, but it was like I don't know how it got twisted. It got twisted though. It got twisted along the way based on the lyrics. Like there was like 4 guest spots on it for no fucking reason. I don't know why there were 4. You know.
Yeah, that's too many guest spots on a song. That's where it started to get twisted. Is you had too many people on that damn ass song.
You can't bring 4 people together and have an opinion. It doesn't work. And of course, one of those 4 opinions, we didn't hear the things that were written, and we go back and it gets released, and we're like, oh
yikes! Yeah, that's not a great thing to be attached to.
And it fucked us like hard. That was like the beginning of the downfall of that band. I think that was the they pulled the pin and they were like, you're gonna fall apart here soon. Yeah. So social.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, we don't do guest spots with people. Yeah. I mean, we had like 1 or 2, but like, I don't know. When I talk about politics on stage, like the only person that's talking is me. So
yeah,
people. And the nice thing too is like our band always like was pretty upfront about what we believed. But people got to choose like pretty much then and there if they agreed with it or not. And I like that because it was just like, I ain't got to waste your time. Like you don't have to waste my time. Fine. I just get on stage and say what I say and mean what I mean. And like, if it's for you, then tight. If it's not, then go outside, I guess, because I'm going to play for 25 minutes and then I'm going to fuck off.
You guys aren't just because the name kind of makes me think like, makes me kind of, are you guys a religious band? Are you guys at all?
Honestly, I've been asked that question more than I ever thought. Like based on the, like same thing you said, like based on the name, I didn't think that it had like any religious connotation at all.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I guess you use the word ghost and people are like, do you mean the Holy Spirit?
Yeah, exactly.
No, not at all. Not. Okay. I frequently have preached against, especially organized religion.
Yeah.
I'm not an atheist by any means, but I very, very against organized religion, especially the Christian right in its current context. Obviously, I won't get too political. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
get political.
But yeah, not a religious band at all, not whatsoever. there are people in my band who are religious for sure,
Yeah.
but as a unit, no, not at all.
Well, I mean, I think that like it, especially with how you speak about like being kind and whatnot. That's something that naturally would gravitate people who are good, that are religious. At least there are
Sure,
people that
yeah,
are
yeah. I
not,
mean, like
obviously,
I have no problem with personal religious affiliation. Like that doesn't bother me at all. Usually when I'm talking about religion and like I'm preaching against it or whatever,
It's like
and like the people in my band are also on board with me. I would never say anything on stage that there weren't 4 people behind me that could like get behind it.
Yeah.
I would never want to put them in a position where like it seems like I'm speaking for them. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I have no problem with like, people being Christian or whatever. Like, I hate to like use like I have Christian friends.
Yeah,
but
just
like,
don't be shitty, basically. That's
yeah, I mean, yeah, I have no problem with people practicing religion. That's not at all what my issue has ever been.
Yeah.
So, I have people who've come up to me and like prayed for me. They'll be like, "Can I like say a prayer with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." Like if that's your thing and like you want to do that, that's like super flattering that you care enough about like what we do and what I'm saying that you would like, extend that part or like show me that part of yourself. So like, yeah, I have no problem with that stuff at all.
For sure.
But also like smoke Satan, hail weed,
Smoke Satan, hail weed. I've never heard that one.
We used to say it all the time. I have no idea why.
Just came about. We used to say fucking bleh. That was our thing.
Oh my god. I also like architects.
There you go. So, you can answer this if you want to. If not, it's fine. I have a buddy who just sent me a Facebook message. He was like asking this question. He said, I feel like people are assholes about this kind of shit, man. He said, why are the Cold War guns that have Modern Warfare clones much more broken than their counterparts?
I literally can't answer that because again, I'm not a designer, so like I also feel like when people say things are broken, like that's sometimes an opinion. And that's just like in video games, like in general. Like obviously there are things that are fundamentally broken, right?
Yeah.
Like in Cyberpunk, police should not just appear. But like there are a lot of there's a really good article that I've like sent to people that Jeff Kaplan wrote. If you don't know who he is, he's like in charge of Overwatch. And the article is titled "The Perception of Balance is More Important Than Balance Itself." And he's taught because like obviously Overwatch is a heavily competitive game and it depends on heroes being balanced. Like there's
Reaper ult.
What'd you say?
Nerf the Reaper ult.
Oh, I don't play Overwatch. So, I mean, I haven't played Overwatch in like 2 years. So like, I don't even know what the game is like right now, but the article is just really interesting because like Jeff talks a lot about how exactly what I said, like the perception of balance, sort of the perception of something being broken or not broken is generally more important. And it basically kind of covers like public opinion, how people feel about certain things, regardless if like the math adds up that like something is or isn't broken. It's about how people feel. Because like ultimately feelings are the thing that like drive people to keep playing your game. And so like if they feel like something is broken, then that typically denotes like a negative reaction. It's a really good article. As far as this question goes, I can't answer it. I use the Cold War guns. I like them, but like again, that's just my opinion. Like I don't.
I also think it
Mathematically, I can't tell you if they are or aren't, or like if that even exists.
One of the things we were speaking about before was obviously the DMR. Like when we were before the podcast, because a lot of it can't be said on podcast because like it's how it is. But
I mean, it's not that like I can't say things. It's just like I never want to put myself in a position where somebody from the internet hears me say something and then tries to like make it out that I'm speaking for all of Raven or all of Activision, because like people do that, it's just like it's not like a matter of NDA. It's just that if I talk about something, there's always a chance that some dickhead's going to be like, see, Raven said, and it's just like, no, I am Austin, not Raven. Austin said, but like that's not how the internet works. Like we know that. So it's not even like a matter of like NDA or like I can't talk about. It's just like I don't want to because I don't want people to like misconstrue or put words in my mouth, and because then like that falls on my entire team, and then it's just like that shit is just like not worth it.
I do have a question that I think you can and might be willing to answer. So being in one of the QAs, so like you obviously play everything before it launches, right? So you
no, it actually just comes out. We don't do anything. I don't know if you know that.
So
I get paid money to literally just sit
there and look at a screen. So like you will play like if and when there's a potential nerf to any like gun or mechanic in the game, right? And see if that
it's a designer decision. So like it's
like you obviously don't determine what gets like nerfed.
I mean, if something is like if something is egregious enough that we notice it, that generally means like it needs to be looked at and we'll tell somebody. But like when people talk about like, oh, this gun's broken or whatever, like not always, but a lot of the times something is like just a little bit stronger than this other thing, but it's still like the best weapon to currently use or like the best hero to use. It's not really that noticeable until millions of people play. Because even if I played the game every day with all my friends at work, there's only, so many people, and we're not all at the same skill level. So like, yeah, I could just be wrecking shit, but that's just because that could be because I can aim really well and I'm playing with 30 other people at work who can't aim at all. So like it's hard to even like really make a definitive judgment. Now, if somebody puts a weapon in the game and I can and like I decide to use that weapon in a playtest or something and it kills them in one shot, like if I put a pistol in and I shoot you in the leg and you just die and it like chunks all your armor, okay, I need to write that up. Like I have now noticed a bug. I need to write the bug up.
That's also, I think, something that we've seen a lot lately is actually leg damage. That it's funny that you say that because it seems like leg damage itself has gone up in the game in the recent release.
Yeah. That stuff, like I have no idea because that's like designers are the ones that like touch that stuff, and they get paid way more money than me. So like.
Do you want to be a designer? Is that something you're like working towards?
No, not at all. No, not even in the slightest. I mean, like
then you do get blamed for it. Like it's actually your fault.
No, it's not even the blame thing. Game design is fucking hard, to be honest. Like that shit is so tough. I mean, even if it's not a competitive game. Like designing a game, dude. Like coming up with the mechanics. Coming up with how certain things like work or don't work. I mean, like design is such a wide range of, when I say design, like there's people who do very specific things within design. And like all of it is not for me. I want to do community. That's what I want to do. I want to be the person that engages with people, like whether that's with Call of Duty or like something else down the road. Ultimately, I like doing social media. I like creating content. Yeah, it kind of, I mean, PR like sort of fits into that. PR is more like official than some of the stuff that I would like to do, because like PR is just like, how do I put it? Like that's like more like communications. Like it's just like, here's a statement. Whereas like community is like you're engaging with people, you're creating like videos and photos and like stuff like that. You're going to events and meeting people and talking with them. Like you're getting people excited about like whatever game it is or whatever event that you guys have coming up, stuff like that. That's like more what I want to do. And
you would fit really well into that category too because you're very well spoken and like
thanks.
You have like throughout this whole interview I've been like, like I very much enjoy the fact that like I can ask you a question, it doesn't die on, and yeah, like
Oh, for sure, dude. Those are the worst.
yeah,
I have friends like that who I've had to call out for that.
yeah, it's
Where I'm like, bro, why is it when I ask you a question, you don't really give me an answer? Like
yeah.
you just kind of like stop that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just like talking to people. That's like really what, and that's an extension of what I did with the band anyway. You know, it's like obviously we played shows and stuff, but I was always like the guy at the table that would talk to everybody and like, you know, trying to make friends with people. I was always one of the guys that would go talk to people about staying the night at their house. Like I was just always the one that was engaging with people anyway. And so when I started to decide to like lean into the games industry, I was like, oh well, that's definitely where I want to go. Like I don't want to do anything technical. I don't know. I like it's not my thing. I like art. I make art, but I don't want to make art for video games for whatever reason. I don't want to design things. That's a lot of coding that I
I feel like there's a lot
don't.
of weight that it like definitely puts on your shoulders too. Like already doing like the QA stuff. I feel like they're like I can't like the amount you talk about, like the work you guys have done. Like we spoke at one point, you're like 80 hours a fucking week for X amount of months. Like
That's not just me, by the way. That's
yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
Like
that's a crazy number. But that's just QA. Like design, it's
I
probably
mean,
more right or in the same ballpark.
I mean, oh, dude, I'm sure. Like
They're working on that shit at home. Like,
so,
if they're not at the
when
office.
people talk about crunch, there's like enforced crunch, which is like, hey, you have to get this done by this day. I don't care how many hours it takes. And then there's like crunch where I'd like hesitate to even call it crunch, where it's like I want this thing to be in the game really bad, or like I want this thing to be really fucking cool. You know, like say we do like a Halloween event. Again, this is all not it's not a real scenario, but like say we do the Halloween event and somebody has like a really cool idea for the zombies mode we did, and they're told by somebody higher up like, oh, we don't have enough time. Like there's really not enough time to do that. Sometimes people will go, okay, well, I will make time because I think this thing is so cool or like will be so much fun. It deserves to be in the game. And then that person ahead of them will go, okay, well, if you want to do that, that is your prerogative. You are a salaried employee. You choose how much time you are going to work. And if you want to work for 100 hours this week to finish this thing that you think is so worth it, I approve that. You can go ahead and do that. And people do that. I mean, like, it happens all the time in games because generally people who work on games give a shit a lot about what they're working on and they just want to make cool shit. And sometimes they don't have time to make that cool shit, so they make time. And I don't think a lot of people know that. Like, people sometimes think that, like, I mean, it gets talked about more in the past couple of years, but I think sometimes people think that game developers just like clock in and they're like, oh, just back to the old grind, and like it's like, no, dude, like most people who work on games, like they're there because they want to. These people a lot of times could go anywhere else and maybe get paid like way more money, but people make games because they fucking love games and they want to make cool shit. And sometimes you want to make cool shit and you don't have enough time. So then you have to find time to make cool.
It's very comparable to like how you speak about it. At least how you explain it is definitely very comparable to music because it's
exactly.
It's your baby.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's your art.
Like,
that's like
I want to make this record as cool as possible. So I'm gonna spend way more money than I should have. And like obviously. The comparison in video games would be time, but it's like I'm going to spend way more money than I should because I think it's worth it. Because I think it'll be way cooler if I do that. And so then you do. I mean, yeah, I've done that. I've spent an extra week in the studio, cost an extra whatever $1,000 or whatever we were paying. And it's just like it's worth it because I think this thing is cool and it should be as cool as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know this, but developers like working on games. Like they're there because they really want to make cool things.
I really wish that there was a definitive, because there's different people in games. Like So me, like when something's fucked up or broken, I'm mentally like I try to think like in the realm of like I don't fully understand what a developer does, or I don't fully understand. Well, I didn't, at least until this interview. Speaking with you has opened me up a little bit to it. But I've always like sit there and go, okay, this is fucking broken. But like, what is happening right now that is not, maybe it's not being fixed for some reason. Maybe maybe there's context to each situation. Maybe I'm shit. Like there's a lot to it.
Yeah, dude, it's like,
and a lot of people don't put those things into their head. I try to a lot, and I'll like knock each thing. I'll be like, well, I'm not shit because I've been doing pretty fucking all right for a long time.
Sometimes you just run into that person that's better than you.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people are like, well,
or if you're me, all the time.
So for me,
that's all I really want, and that's all I'll probably ever advocate for is just, dude, games are it's fucking wizardry. It really is.
Yeah.
Like,
can we all agree though that cheating in a competitive multiplayer game,
I'm so fucking over it.
Unexcusable.
Yeah,
or inexcusable.
I mean, I would be cool with like maybe fist fighting people who make.
I mean,
like
that would be
IRL.
fair in like a tournament setting. Like you're sitting like 20 feet away from the person.
Hey, I got to whoop that guy's ass, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things I really like about what the new the Warzone lobbies that they're doing now with like the actually you can do like a community Warzone lobby like for competition and
Oh, I've been seeing, people have been using those a lot, which is really cool. I've been seeing like people do like community tournaments. It's fucking awesome.
It's cool instead of doing like, I mean, it's a lot harder than like a kill race would be per se. Like kill races are definitely like it would be like I would prefer to play in a kill race than like a Warzone tournament. Like that was just community based where it's like, you're
I don't like battle royale tournaments. I don't think they, I mean, I get, what'd you say?
I said they're kind of weird.
I just think it's too, it's too random.
Yeah.
It's up to chance.
Well,
and that's like not, and I'm not even just talking about our game. I mean, all battle royale. I don't think it's a great way. I mean, granted, like I don't think there's any like legitimate pro league for.
No.
I think Fortnite tried it, but like I don't know if they've done it in recent.
Like a lot of celebrity shits and like people they deemed pros.
Well, they did.
Yeah, but it's not like a league, they're just like it's a pro event.
Yeah. Well, they deem these.
But yeah, I don't like.
They're so
I don't
good
like
at
that
these
format.
Games, they just deem them as like pro. So like,
yeah,
that's like
Ninja might be the only one that you could be like, oh yeah,
that's not true. You
pro.
have Tifu, you have fucking what's his name? The other guy that I watched. They all play COD now. Like most of them play COD now because
it feels weird that you just wouldn't mention Shroud because I feel like Shroud is the pro.
Yeah, Shroud's he's a pro at everything he touches. Like
that dude has like unbelievable aim.
His mechanics, like just naturally, his ability to aim and play is off the fucking.
I'm always
charts.
like, I'll be like playing him, and I'm like, I can be fucking.
Yeah,
I can't because I don't understand what his brain does.
His movements are good. Like that's one thing about him that blows me away is his like I a lot of the time for me like movement beats aim in most games, especially in like battle royales. But his movement is like good, but his aim is fucking godlike.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about him is his aim can save him from any mistake that he makes.
Yeah.
He always has a backup.
I wonder how he does right now, though. I guess it doesn't really like if he
shots to the head with the DMR.
Yeah, I was just say if he pops into Warzone right now,
he doesn't play Call of Duty. He plays Valorant.
Yeah, he doesn't play
and just team wipes.
I think he played a few times, like a couple weeks. And dude, Tarkov, watching him in Tarkov, I'm like he's playing Call of Duty right now. He literally looks like he's playing COD in Tarkov. Oh
yeah, he does play Tarkov. Him and Summit have been playing Tarkov.
That game.
I've never played that game. I feel like I have too much anxiety for that.
It is literally like if you think that's like I feel like solos in Warzone is anxiety rating. Tarkov, like I don't need it. Like I'd rather just go sit myself in an awkward conversation.
Yeah, I watch like people play it every now and then. I'm just like, this is too stressful for me.
Yeah. Well, and they have like
play a baby game.
They have the confidence and like the skill to like back up that confidence, so they're good. Like they're solid. They don't get it. I played it.
Like, you want to play Tarkov? I'm like, I'm gonna play Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump over this mushroom, motherfucker.
I do not have the patience.
No,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like.
It's hard.
It's those dudes are just like monsters as far as like
Mhm.
aiming and gameplay goes. I don't really get it.
Yeah. I don't know with the kill race thing. I did a few kill races. I did those dialed up tournaments.
I think kill races are cool.
Yeah. I
It's
think they're
also
fun
like
as
way
fuck.
more stressful because it's you're like literally just throwing yourself into an aggressive situation over and over and over.
Which is cool though. Like I enjoy. That's one thing about Warzone that I enjoy the most. Actually, is those intense situations and those battles. Yeah, it sucks losing them, but oh man, I love like coming out of like a fucking 4v1 and you're just like, what's up?
I'm all about embarrassing kids in the most like embarrassing way possible. Like, let me hit this entire team with a car and then C4 them as they're trying to self revive or something.
The game has created a lot of content. Like, are you surprised the amount of like stuff that people come out with this thing?
No, dude, video games are ridiculous. People come up with like the wildest shit.
It's nuts the shit you see from like and the like the glitches too. That's one thing too, is like half the shit that's like people discover. I'm like, how the fuck do you discover this? Like, how did you suddenly just like the fuck are you talking
Have you ever
about?
watched speedruns?
Like people run
Yeah.
games in like a short
Yeah,
time.
like speedruns? Like
Yeah.
like where it's like the
watched
fastest possible. Dude.
64 Mario, the Nintendo 64 Mario. I forget the name of that one.
There is
Mario 64.
Ocarina of Time speedrun where you can skip an entire section of the game, but you have to like phase through a wall, like an invisible wall, and it is what's called a frame specific skip, which means that you have to do a specific animation at a basically so like what is it, 30 FPS I think on N64, or it might even be lower than that. So you have 30 frames in a second. You have to hit a very specific frame within that second with a very specific animation at the same exact time to skip through that wall. How the fuck do people find this stuff? People have been searching for that skip for like 20 years, and then like last year somebody found it, and I was just like, you are fucking psychos, dude. This is so insane. That is just the most unbelievable. And they were like, yeah, we don't even know if it exists. We just think we can do it. For 20 years. We don't know if it exists, but for 20 years we've been trying to figure out if it does or not.
Like, why? 20 fucking
Dude,
years.
it's insane. People are so good at games. It makes me so mad.
They're good at that's your buddy right there. Your buddy breaking the games. That's what that is. What you're talking about.
Dude,
earlier.
that's like what he does. He's just like, yeah, sometimes I just see if I can break this thing and then I can beat the game early. And I'm like, or you could just play the game.
Yeah.
I don't seems weird that you would spend like a lot of time trying to find something that saves you time, even though it didn't save you time because you spent a lot of time finding it.
That is how he enjoys playing.
What'd you say?
That's how he enjoys playing.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously play however you want. I don't know.
Yeah.
Your enjoyment is the most important thing. It's just my brain does not work that way. I'm just like, yeah, I could just not waste time and I'll just beat it.
So how do I don't know if you can answer this. Have you guys started working on a continuation of COD already, or like the next game essentially, or do you?
Oh, I have no idea. I work on Warzone.
So is what studio work? Is it just Activision's employees then that works on the other like the next? They're like working on the next step. Then would be the concept, or
For what?
like if they
For
like
the
if
next
they,
game? Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Again, those people get paid so much more money than I do. Like straight up. I'm like the grocery store employee, and you're asking like the guy that bags your groceries questions that like only the CEO knows.
So how much is your salary?
I'm like I can't even get like my manager to answer this question because I just bag groceries, and you're asking a question that the guy who like doesn't even live in this state knows the answer.
Hey man, you gotta shoot the shot, you know.
I mean, I respect it.
I'm interested.
So what's the next meta? No.
Me continuing to play single player games and not being good at the game I work on. That's the meta.
I definitely want to see what is next though. I'm excited for the next game already. That's something that I want like it's obviously not going to be a Black Ops game. So, and are we going to continue to get guns from Warzone or from the game into Warzone? Are we going to end up with like 100 fucking guns on Warzone? That would be insane. Do you imagine that? Like that'd be fucking.
How many?
Like if you so there were 30 games added with Cold War, right? Or 30 guns basically, right?
Yeah.
So if the next game
I don't know the
has,
exact
like,
number, but yeah.
Yeah, if the next game has like 30 guns, that's 30 more fucking guns. Like,
Please no.
He's got to try
From a work perspective, you're scaring me.
but if you had more time to do it and it was done like not in quarantine and like would
I
it
don't
be
even give a
better?
shit about that. I just don't want to do it. Please. I mean, just please don't make. I don't want to do that.
I kinda
Hopefully, by
feel-
the time there's something else, I work in a different position. That's what I hope.
yeah, it was really
Because I don't want to
crazy.
stay. I don't want to stay in QA. Like I said, I want to do community. So I hope I don't have to stay there. Cool thing is like they know that they're like cool with
Yeah.
me. You know, wanting to move up. It's almost like if you work at a job where people respect you, they actually want to see you do the things that you want to do. It's pretty crazy, actually. And anybody that ever gets a chance to try it really should, because it's wild.
I'm
Yeah. Oh, I know. I see the face you're making. I've worked in the jobs that don't do that.
Yeah. My boy over here works at Target right now. So.
Oh, bro. Yeah. I worked at Kohl's. I know that retail. I know that retail life. That shit sucks.
I'm a bartender.
So honestly,
but,
mad respect to you.
I love.
Yeah, dude. You guys both work like in public.
The place I work is very different, though. It's the best like bar I've ever worked at in my life, and like the people. It's like when when like companies are like this is family, like, and you're like shut up, bitch. Like this place is like legitimately like family. Like if someone fucks around, they're gonna find out. Like this place takes care of their people. Like I have the most courteous boss I've ever like had in my life. Like I started keto like yesterday, basically, because I'm sick of being chubby. And like so the only thing I can like drink right now is like diet Moscow mules and Jameson. Fortunately, I fucking love Jameson. And so we'll always we have a few shots. Like it's I'm telling you, it's a fucking heavy metal band dude thing, bro. It's the JMO just rides.
I think it's for me. It's like I'm just Irish.
Oh, I see.
I just like whiskey.
It's just the Irish for me.
Yeah, I just like whiskey.
That's fair. But yeah, so like I started that diet, and she like usually we'll take shots, and they're all sugary as fuck. But yesterday she knew I started the diet, and this is just a small thing that she's done. She poured me a shot of Jameson instead. I didn't have to ask. I didn't have to.
At jobs, it's always the small things.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Gifts and stuff are cool, when like or like parties and shit, or like your job's like congratulations, it was a pizza party or whatever. Fuck that. Nobody wants that, dude. People just want to be treated like human beings. Yeah. And like when they do stuff like that, where it's like, oh, I remembered this thing about your life, and so I tried to respect you and made an adjustment.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that makes you feel good. And yeah, I mean, like you work at Target, like fucking Nancy, whoever your manager is, like, do that shit for you because she doesn't give a shit. It sucks. When I worked at Subway, they didn't fuck about me. I got paid $8.25 to be a manager, and they wouldn't give me manager status. I had to open the store every day by myself and order product. And when I wanted to be a manager, they were like, "Yeah, I just don't really have the money for that." I'm like, "Okay, well, you're paying me $8.25. Yeah, what the fuck?" Dude, yeah. Shout out to jobs that respect you. Back in my day.
We gotta get you out of there. Go work at Raven.
Oh yeah, I'm right on top of that.
There you go, dude. Apply. Pretty sure we're hiring, by the way.
There you go. Build that PC. Do you want to test games? I'd love to test games. That's something I've always wanted to do.
I guess if it was my job, because my fucking first excuse is like, I don't have the time to test games. But if it was my job, then I guess they're fucking paying me to do it, so I have the time.
You'd make the same money you make now.
Literally.
It's very I would love that's something that like for me, like in career choices, I'm like, like music, games, like something.
I mean, like the cool thing is even if you want to do that, like there's still somewhere to go. Like you can still grow.
Yeah.
You know, there are positions above mine, you know, to like grow into, which is like, that's nice. Like, I have friends who at work are just like, I love doing that, and I'm like, good for you, weirdo. But like they'll be able to grow into like, you know, a position, you know, they can, you know, become like a manager or something like that, which is cool. It's like even when like our position in the industry, definitely not at our studio, in the industry is like kind of looked at as like the bottom of the totem pole. Like there's still somewhere to go if you want to.
Yeah.
Now, our studio respects the hell out of us. Like they treat us super well. Everybody's really nice.
Well, that's
That
good
is
to
not
hear.
everyone's experience in the video games industry, but
Yeah.
it is mine, which is very cool.
Yeah, that's a very like nice thing to have too. So I definitely I appreciate you coming on here though and like talking with us about all this stuff, man. Even though we're asking you the questions that are above the pay grade.
I have one more
Yeah.
final question though.
What's up?
So like you obviously work in QA. Are you aware of like any potential Easter eggs like in Warzone or like anything that you have to test? Are you aware that they're like, oh yeah, there's an Easter egg you can activate if you do this, or do you just fuck around and find out?
Trying to think. I mean, nothing like.
I guess they're more in like zombies. I guess like if you.
Oh no! I mean, I don't even touch
If
zombies
you didn't
because
even
that's
touch
not
zombies,
us.
that's not yours. But like,
No.
if Warzone were to add like, with the bunker shit, like, were you?
Oh
aware of
yeah,
that,
like I
when that
detest
was-
the bunkers. Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, what's this red access card? Where do
No, I
take
mean
this?
we like had to make sure they worked.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that because it's like it's like that's core functionality. Like obviously, if it's broken, then like the fucking thing doesn't work, and then somebody's gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah, thank you for Juggernauts, by the way. I'm just gonna say that. Thank you for getting that fucker out of there for a little bit.
Oh yeah, people didn't like that very much.
No,
Bring back the invisible attack helicopters.
They just I saw Juggernaut the other day.
Oh,
for the
was
first time
that
in a
the?
while.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the when the jugs were like multiplying, they're having baby jugs with baby
Dude,
jugs and
here's
other baby jugs.
This is what I'm saying, man. People get upset about this stuff, but like, you just don't
your
know how
fault.
video games work, and sometimes there's just a lot of fucking stuff that happens that you just do not expect to happen.
Yeah,
And then it
It'd be
happens, and
impossible
you
for
look
to
at it
walk
and you
over
go,
every inch.
"What?" There's a really good video I've sent to people. Do you know the game Outer Worlds?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Fallout ripoff or whatever.
Yeah.
apparently.
Whoa, it's not a ripoff. It's very
Oh, I
good.
don't
But
know,
yes,
that's what I
it
was
is.
told.
It is basically Fallout. That's why I liked it so much. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good game in its own right. But initially, I was interested because, oh, you guys made Fallout New Vegas. I'm probably gonna like this game. There was a really cool thread where there was a bug that people couldn't finish this certain quest, and they couldn't figure out why, like what was happening. Like people on the team were like looking at it, and they were like, "Dude, I just can't fucking figure it out." And it turned out that apparently at some point, the way that they had designated ladders as like furniture piece, because like certain like certain objects get designated as like certain pieces sometimes if you want to like interact with them in the engine. And so like ladders are designated as furniture because NPCs can interact with them the same way they interact with furniture, where they would like sit down. And apparently something was happening where when one of the characters you were doing this quest for would go back to the ship, she would just grab the ladder for some reason. Nobody has any idea why. And she would climb it, and then she would just climb into oblivion. She would just keep climbing. And the dude, like, he said I think in the thread he said he spent like weeks trying to figure out what was happening. Just like literally digging through code. He was just like, there's literally no logical reason for this quest to not finish. Like all of it is set up right. And turns out it's because you needed her to like spawn next to you, but the game wouldn't spawn her for some reason. She would just grab the fucking ladder and she would climb. And I'm like, dude, this is a perfect explanation for video games. Like sometimes this shit just does not work and there's no logical reason for it. And you just have to figure it out and like just brute force a fix for it, because sometimes computers are stupid and they read code and it does not react the way that you think it should, or even the way that it's like designed to. And that is like the best example. I give that to people all the time. I'm just like, dude, sometimes shit just does not work and nobody has any idea why. Like, you know, just you got to be patient with game developers, man. Like, it's just not all like sunshine and rainbows. Like, sometimes this shit is just overly complicated. I mean,
take a breath, play a different game, chill out, you know.
Yeah, I say, I mean, I said it like 5 times during this, but like, games are wizardry. Yeah. Straight up, dude. People who sit down and code games are magicians, and they deserve way more money than they currently make, in my opinion. And that's it. Just be nice to them, because sometimes like they don't even know. Like they're trying to figure it out, you know. And I'm not even talking about like just Call of Duty. I mean any game. Like, shit just goes wrong sometimes and people just cannot figure out why. And these people are way smarter than you and they can't figure it out. Like, that's the worst part, is they're way smarter than me. People be like, yeah, here's why. Dude, I've had people explain things at my old job. I had somebody explain a bug to me once. They're like, here's why it happened. And I got to the end and I was just like, I have no idea what you just said. I'm gonna be honest. I have no clue what just came out of your mouth. Like, oh, see the
gawk for 10 minutes. And was like,
yeah, dude. Like, I literally just heard. I got to the end of the conversation. I was like, I'm pretty sure for like 5 minutes, I just heard you go, wah 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 wah. I heard the adult from Charlie Brown. Like, it is so cool that you figured it out, but you are so much smarter than me, and I respect you. That's it. Like, I have nothing to say to you. Yes, exactly. Dude, I've had like people explain, a friend of mine's making a game right now, little 2D, like, kind of like side scroller. And like, he was like explaining to me some of the work he put in to get this shader to work, which like a shader is, I mean, it can be any number of things, but sometimes like flashing lights, like that could be a shader. And he just like got this like cool effect where it starts in the center of the screen and then like it kind of like explodes outwards and like covers over stuff, and it looks really neat. It looks like the simplest thing in the world. He's like, yeah, this took me like 4 weeks to make. And I was just like, oh my God. And he's like, dude, he's like, yeah, this is really hard. I'm like, yeah.
Fuck that.
That's why games sometimes take fucking 7 years to make, because it's just like, it's so difficult to do.
That's why I'll just stick to editing. Like, I thought Adobe was hard, so I'm good, you know.
Bro, Adobe sucks. What do you use?
Figure out my phone. I'm like a 45-year-old man.
I use Premiere and I hate it.
It's the first thing I've ever used to like edit videos. This is the stuff that I've been creating is like my first experience. I had a buddy, my old drummer. He used After Effects a lot, and I was like, Adobe was the first thing that I saw everybody editing on, and I was like,
oh, I mean, that's like the standard. Excuse me. I used to edit on Vegas, which is I don't think it's owned by Sony anymore, but it used to be. And the only thing, my biggest complaint about Adobe Premiere, in Sony Vegas, if I want to fade between 2 clips, I click one clip, I just drag it over the top of the other one, and then that's where the fade begins.
Yeah.
If I drag something over a clip in Adobe Premiere, it goes, oh, did you want to delete everything that you just dragged it over? I'm like, no, I want to fade. And it's just like, no, I don't know what that is. You have to click 6 menus before I put a fade in. It's just like,
the effects in Adobe are I feel like editing is really easy though. The cutting and the linking and whatnot.
Yeah, all that stuff. There's just like some functionality stuff where I'm like, you're making this harder than it needs to be.
I've seen a lot of people that will use Adobe to edit their like videos and put them all together, like just the clips, and then they'll take it into After Effects and do all the effects in there. Which I mean, I
use After Effects all the time. Like I love After Effects.
Is it easy? Maybe I need to look into that one.
No, it's really not. Like I'm not gonna like bullshit you. It's really not easy.
Fucking easy at the end of the day. Like all of this stuff is like you have to like. You're like, oh, a keyboard's a keyboard, and then they're like, not how we made this thing. It's fucking. You better press Shift fucking Z C X Y to get this done. Like
After Effects is like video games. It was made by wizards.
Oh man, there's always fucking the wizards.
It is quite literally unbelievable. The things that you can do with that program, I have no idea how anybody came up with some of that shit.
Do you edit music at all, or do you do any like sort of like production like on your own?
Yeah.
What do you use for that?
I use Reaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been using Cubase, and that shit's some fucking. It's the
wizardry.
It's crazy. That shit's
wizardry.
Nuts.
Hey, does it run on a computer? It's wizardry.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like if it runs on a computer or it runs on your game console, a wizard made it because it is stupid.
There's a fucking. You see that little fucking flash drive over there, Zaby? Yeah. The one plugged in. Yeah. If that's not plugged in, the fucking program will not open. They literally have it like.
Do you have iLock?
Yeah, it's like it's based on iLock like entirely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to pirate that shit at first, and then we're like, nah. I was like, God damn.
That's
Lock
funny.
and key, literally. But yeah, dude.
They figured it out.
This has been cool. I think we're gonna have to end it though.
Yeah. I can smell chili. My girlfriend or my fiance made chili.
Yeah, there you go. Man, don't talk to me about food right now.
I don't have to say this, but I'm gonna say this just to clear myself from anything. I do not speak for Raven Software. I do not speak for Activision. Anything I said today is purely my own experience. Please do not misconstrue my words. I know you won't, but I just mean like anybody that might hear this from now until the end of time. Also, please be nice to game developers. Please.
Agreed.
Stop
fucking
mean.
CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, stop sending death threats to people. Jesus Christ. Be a good human being. It's really hard. What did I say earlier? Wake up every day, make a decision to be nice.
We need to play sometime though, for sure. I don't know. You said you play mostly single.
I won't help you win, but I will play with you.
I
play. Like I played with my brother the other day. We got a win on Rebirth. Felt good.
I have to carry a lot of people all the time. It's all right.
Oh, that's fine. I will hop in that backpack, baby. Let's go.
Oh, for sure. We'll have to do it though. I appreciate you coming on, Austin. It's been cool. Been eye opening for a lot of this shit. So
I'm less ignorant to game development now.
You're still a bitch when you die from a DMR.
Well, see, I don't play 14 hours out of every day, so it doesn't affect me.
He plays Smite.
I play Smite. I'm worried about other things.
He's worried about that Cthulhu alt.
How did you know?
Because I hear my friends complain about it.
It's broken.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for doing it. And we'll get together and play some Warzone or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play something else. You probably don't want to play Warzone.
I don't mind as long as you help me win. That's all that matters.
As long as I what?
You help me win.
Yeah, I can do that.
Just show me where all the bugs are.
Yeah, you got to put me into the good lobbies though.
Why would I sell myself out like that?
So, all right, man. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy your chili.
Thanks, dog. Peace.
Appreciate it, man.
Bye.
Later. Oh, it's a double office.
Girls coming in.
Oh, all right. I gotta go to work.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I fucking don't work.
Thanks, everybody who tuned in, checked it out. Appreciate you guys. I'll probably be on stream later tonight or something. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't streamed in a few days. It's been fucky. I'm working. All right. Later, y'all.